than you think. It's not a tournament. It's what you don't see on TV. The cash is real. The stakes are high. They bet big. They win big. They lose big. High stakes live action poker. Live at the bike. Watch it live on the web or play it if you dare at the Bicycle Casino right here in Los Angeles.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Live at the Bike, brought to you by the Bicycle Casino in Los Angeles, California, the first and only webcast of real action cash game poker. My name is Bart Hansen. I'm here with Dave Tuckman. It's a Friday, Dave, and that means 10-20 no-limit hold'em, $1,000 minimum buy-in. Mike, Adam, Barry Woods are all on the table. Adam got so close in the 5-10 game this afternoon to going to Felton leaving, like 9 lives. 9 lives today. Unbelievable.
Well, maybe it's his lucky night. We'll see.
Most of it's out of Adam. So let's head over to the table and let's get into this thing.
Yep. And seat number 1 is Lee.
Lee is the gentleman that emailed us last night talking about getting into the game.
Just lost a big pot, actually, to Mike. He had Pocket Kings and went down in flames with them. Seat number 2, we got a new player in Chuck. Chuck's bought in for $2,000. Seat number 3, we've got Dave. Also new to the show. And seat number 4, we've got Corporation Mike. Mike's probably got close to $4,200 on the table. Seat number 5 is Clint. Now, Clint's a pretty solid player, and it'll be interesting to see how he adjusts. And he's got position on Mike all day.
He was telling me about how he's really been running well in the 5-10 game. We don't see him in this game that much, taking a little step up here.
Well, he's a good player. It'll be interesting to see how he plays it. Seat number 6 is Adam, the aforementioned Adam. Now, this is a guy I called a fish last night. Maybe I shouldn't have. Let's see if he can prove me wrong. Let's see if he dominates the table tonight. Seat number 7 is Barry Woods. I don't think he's at the table right now. He's not. He'll be there in a second, though. Seat number 8, we've got Action Mo. Probably not that much action tonight. We'll see how he plays. And seat number 9 is probably the tightest player at the table. We've got Kirk.
Yep. And Mike is talking about that hand when he flopped a straight against Lee. And these two are going to be banging heads all night. Mike is raised here, first hand of the night, with King 8 offsuit, and Adam has called him with 3-6 of spades. Mike's hit a pair here. Ace, Queen, 8.
And he checked it. Wow, that's odd. That's odd of Mike.
Check. Turns a 4, and now Mike's going to bet. Adam has absolutely nothing here. And Mike said that's a raise me bet. And it looks like Adam. I mean, sometimes Adam's kind of crazy, but I don't know if he's this crazy. Making him here with 6-3 of spades.
Well, it's funny, you know. I mean, Mike's like the bully in the playground. See if Adam can punch him back in the nose tonight.
So 10-20 no-limit hold'em. Those brownish red chips are $10 chips. The whites are hundreds. If you see big gray chips, they are thousands. Big pinkish purples are 5,000s. The little yellows are $5 tokes. Little blue ones are $1 tokes. But pretty much meat and potatoes of this game are the whites and the browns, hundreds and tens. But moves over here to Mo in seat 8. And Mike folded, unbelievably. Adam's going to bring this one in from a raise in the cutoff with King 3 offsuit. And I assume that Mo's going to probably be playing pretty tight as well here tonight.
Yeah, well, at a table like this, you don't need to mix it up too much. You know, you pick up a big hand here or there, and you can make a whole night's worth of money in one hand.
Yeah.
No need to push it. You can pick your spots in this game. Now, we'd like to keep the show interactive. You can email us, actually, at live@thebike.com. You can also follow a live thread over at 2plus2.com, spelled out. Go to forums, go to World Poker Tour and other events, and then click on Live at the Bike, official thread for June 9th.
June 9th.
Yeah, there it is.
Now,
the day the World Cup started.
Yeah. I'm sure we'll talk about that throughout the show. Clint's got ace-king suited here, big slick.
I got him in a big pot. I want to ask him what he had.
Third position. He's going to raise it up here to 120, so it's 6 times the big blind. And I like that amount. Sometimes in the 5-10 game I make it 60 or 65. He's going to take it down here without a flop.
Obviously, depending on the table, you might change your raise size. My customary raise size in this game is about $90 to $100, somewhere in that range. Now, if I find the table's calling too much, I might up it to 110 or 120.
The video blog is up from, it was up this morning. So you can head over to liveatthebike.com, check out the video blog.
And what exactly is the video blog, for anybody who doesn't know?
Video blog is like a little segment that we film here in the booth regarding some hands that we have played and some hands that some of our viewers have played. If they actually email us in and put in the subject hand for blog, we will review it and possibly pick it out for another episode, and we film that once a week.
So basically, it's detailed hand analysis we're talking about.
Now Lee here's got ace king on the button. He's going to raise it up. 70, and Mike's got pocket threes. And Mike has made a quick call here, and we are heads up. Ace king against threes. Well, Jack deuce 9. You wonder if Mike is going to continue on here. Lee's going to bet 250 here. And Mike is not going to continue on. And there it is.
I'm not sure what Lee said there. He said, be honest. But he's chuckling.
Good look at those $10 chips.
Friday night, I love it, man.
Yeah.
Double fist night. I know you're going to be playing tonight after the show.
Yes.
I'm going to be playing as well.
I will not be double fisting, though.
No. I actually had my first poker lesson today.
Well,
my first student.
We haven't talked about that really on the show, but it's something that we're going to probably bring into the show, that Dave and I are going to offer our services for poker lessons if people want to meet us at the casino. And we will...
And I offer discounted rates if you meet me at a pub.
I think we're actually going to put some contact information up on the website in the near future. Maybe a little bit of detail about how the lessons will work. Four-way action here, limped around.
Yep.
Live straddle here by Adam.
So it's a $160 pot, and he's going to bet it.
With 10 high. Nobody else has anything here.
Not a bad board to bluff into. You got to realize, if you bluff into a board like that and somebody calls you, you get a lot of information because there's no draws out there. And Adam's going to take it down.
Button's going to move over here to seat 2. Or, excuse me, to Mike now in seat 4.
Yeah. Seat 3, Dave, is actually sitting out for a second, and seat 9, Kirk, is sitting out for a second. So we're playing 7-handed.
Yeah.
And oftentimes, even though it's a full ring game, oftentimes a full ring game plays short, plays 7-handed, plays 8-handed. And you really need to adjust your game to how many players are in it. If it's 9-handed, it's definitely different than 7-handed.
Absolutely. Get a raise here by Mike. On the button, he's going to make it 80 to go with 7-3 offsuit. And luckily for us, Adam is in the blind every time Mike has the button, because we're going to see these two go heads up all night long.
And you'd imagine Mike is going to attack Adam's blind all night long, and Adam's going to probably defend all night long.
Jack 8 against 7-3 offsuit.
Well,
6-5-5 here on the flop. Both players have missed. Mike got a gut shot to the 4 here.
Yeah. He's got the hand that won the World Series.
He bet about 120, and he shows 7-3. And he takes it down.
I don't think Mike was going to go to war. I don't think Adam's going to go to war with Jack High, though.
Button moves here to seat 5. Oh, yeah, this is interesting. If you take a look at Barry over there in seat 5, he is presenting something to Mike.
I only had yellow paint, so. But in case it's lost, we go lost, we turn to Corporation Mike's to reinsert in his ass.
It's a horseshoe. He gave him a horseshoe.
Well, wow. It's funny.
He said, stick it up his ass.
That's good, man. I'll try to keep track of this thing. Make sure it doesn't pop out. You hurt my foot? It hurt when I put it in, though.
There you go.
That's pretty funny.
I imagine it is. I imagine it is because of the comment I made. Or maybe it's because Mike's getting real lucky lately.
Well, I think it has to do with the luck factor.
I mean, Barry's just... Well, Mike's been ridiculously lucky lately.
Mike's going to raise here to 80 with King 9 offsuit.
Call me, I got this.
And, of course, Mike can also attack Barry here as well.
Oh, he's gonna love it. He's got to love his position. He's got Barry. When he's in good position, he's got a tight player behind him, so he can almost always steal a button. And then he can be attacking Barry's blind and attacking Adam's blind. Two players he knows very well.
And Barry's going to call here.
And you know what? This is a hand I don't mind you calling with. It's not a hand that's easily dominated. It's a hand that's live.
Wow, and Barry checks blind. Mike checks right behind him. Barry has flopped the flush draw here. It goes check, check. Mike's got a gut shot. With the turns a king, and Mike picks up top pair. Barry checks again, and Mike is now going to bet.
Come on, Muck. You got 4-5. I called your hand. Close. 3-4.
And Barry's not going to get involved there with one card.
And I don't mind that. I really don't mind the way Barry played that at all.
Yeah.
How about that call? Sorry.
I don't really like the check blind. I mean, he probably could have bet the flop. Maybe taking it down. Although, Mike might call with a gut shot. You never know. Might even raise with a gut shot.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Again, you can email us at live@thebike.com. Questions, comments, suggestions.
While we're live at the bike.
So I'm going to take a break in a minute and go try to do it. Might come back walking. It's your fault.
Button moves over here to Adam.
Now, this game plays real big. This 10-20 game plays bigger than most 10-20 games you'll see. Because of the big buy-in, it's a $1,000 minimum buy-in. It's not a $600 minimum buy-in. And most players even buy in more than that.
So they don't have these for you, huh? You donkeys have to wear different shoes?
Five-way action here.
Sort of the type that you wear.
Limped around.
That was good. Ace deuce,
Ace deuce 3 here, rainbow.
That was pretty solid. Here's to my joke about making it.
That was really good, okay?
Now, Mo's going to check it from up front here. Barry's got middle pair and a gut shot wheel draw. He checked it. Mo checked it.
I think it's going to check around here. It does.
Turns a 9.
Changes nothing. I think Barry still got the best hand.
And Adam's going to come out and bet here with 10-6. He's got absolutely nothing. He bets 200.
Now, normally you wouldn't put him on much because you figure Adam would probably bet an ace. But he could have a 9 here. Very easy, obviously, for him to have a 9. And he steals it.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, he's going to take it down there.
Whatever happened to those buttons? They took them all out, huh?
Button moves here to Barry.
They used to have servers. Never worked.
Small blind 10, big blind 20 is Kirk, and Lee in seat number 1 is going to be under the gun. We are live at the bike, 10-20 blinds.
Pocket kings here for Kirk in the big blind.
Gotta love that, don't you?
Now let's see if Mike is going to attack Kirk's big blind. No, he's just going to limp in. Wow, did I see 2 aces here for Clint? Oh, no, no, not quite. I guess it was just an ace. I thought I saw 2 aces. Adam limps in with an ace-5, and you know Kirk is going to raise this up. But it looks like Barry's going to beat him to the punch.
160.
He's going to make it 160 to go here with 8-5 of diamonds from the button. Now, if Kirk is really deep and, say, only re-raises it to 500, could you call Kirk? But it doesn't even look like Kirk is going to re-raise here. Did he say re-raise?
Yeah, he's definitely going to raise, isn't he?
It didn't. I don't know, Dave.
Call.
It's a smooth call.
Wow, how do you smooth call that? I'm amazed. I mean, in this one case it's going to work, but normally with Mike and Adam behind me, you know if Mike calls, Adam's going to call. And I'm surprised Mike and Adam didn't call. I mean, normally they would call that big raise.
And we're heads up here, Kirk against Barry. Kings against 8-5, well, Jack 4-9 here. And I assume that Kirk is going to play this as a check raise.
Well, if you're going to play it that way, obviously it's the only way to play it.
He's playing, right?
Barry bets.
40. Yeah, it's a collection game.
He bets 240. Let's see what Kirk is going to do here.
No.
340, Dave. And just a check call here from Kirk. So this pot is quickly approaching about $1,000. Turns of 4. Barry is now officially drawing dead.
Yeah, and would you ever just check here? I mean, now the club comes on the turn. There's nothing you can beat.
Unless you think you might be able to represent Kirk off. And it looks like Barry's going to bet again here. But Kirk has the king of clubs, and I would be very surprised if he goes anywhere. And look at this. Barry bets, and now Kirk is going to check raise all in. He's going to check raise all in here. Now, the interesting thing for Kirk is here that he actually could be beat. It's actually check raising on the club there. And he takes it down, playing it slow. And you're right. Usually, you know, Mike and Adam might come in there, but once Kirk calls, it's almost like somebody re-raised.
Yeah, although I got to tell you, though, if Kirk calls, that brings me even more. Because I know he has a big hand, and maybe I can snap him off. Especially if he's deep enough. You know, and I have no problem with bluffing. But the problem is when you raise the hand like 8-5 of diamonds,
Yeah.
Part of the strength of raising with a hand like that is when you hit it, they never put you on it.
Don't push me in pots. Just keep going, Jackson. 4.
I don't really want to play it to have a predetermined, okay, I'm definitely going to be bluffing this hand no matter what.
120.
No, it's more of, okay, I'm raising to, now I don't mind obviously the continuation bet of the flop, but once Kirk calls you, might you just shut down?
Now, Adam is going to raise it up here to 120 with king-queen offsuit. And look at this. Barry's coming in with jack-8 offsuit. He makes the call. Dave is going to call with ace-10 of diamonds, and Lee's in there with ace-10 offsuit, out of position. Tough hand for Lee to play. And we're going to see this 4 ways. It's a $500 pot. Adam, the pre-flop raiser. Well, there's the ace.
And I got to tell you, if you're Lee and Dave, neither one of them can really like their hand, can they?
So obviously the inherent problem with playing ace-10. Now, Adam's only going to bet 160 into a pot that is about 500. And I got to tell you, this might bring Barry in as a call. And now with the ace-10s, you know, maybe ace-10 you check raise Adam heads up. But now that Barry at least calls here, you wonder what Lee and Dave are going to do. I mean, if Barry calls...
Well, I'll tell you, if Lee calls, Dave's got to throw it away.
I was going to say, if Barry and Lee call, what can Dave do?
Dave raises. Actually,
Well,
Lee's going to raise.
check raise. He's going to check raise here.
And it's an easy laydown for Dave, isn't it?
And I actually like the check raise against these two players who figure that Barry probably doesn't have you beat because Barry's pretty aggressive on the flop. I don't think he smooth calls here with ace jack raise queen.
I agree with you.
I think Lee has easily snuffed that out.
You don't give credit to Adam at all.
Yeah.
Barry could have anything, and you raise it. Nice raise there.
Yeah.
And you can't fault for Dave. You can't fault Dave for throwing away the same exact hand there.
And there's also value by check raising there. You actually might get the other guy off of maybe even a better ace like ace jack or ace queen. You never know. The guy in C3.
Ace queen would be a crying call for me. It really would. And look at the turn in the
To
river.
the check raise, you mean?
Yeah. Ace queen.
I don't
crying
think. I
call.
don't think. You think you call the check raise?
I don't know. I really don't know. But if I do call, it's crying call.
Yeah.
Even ace king, I don't love. You know.
Turn in the river. What? Running tens?
Yeah.
Could have made quads.
No, the case 2 tens. They both would have made full house.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Button moves over here to Kirk.
Hundreds.
Got a $100 open raise here by Mike from up front with ace-7 offsuit.
What am I throwing away?
Who knows? I mean, that's a pretty big variety.
Kirk is going to fold here. And both Lee and Chuck are going to fold. We got to imagine that Lee is probably somewhat of a solid player if he watches the show. Looks like he's drinking some Chardonnay over there. Again, it is questionable, obviously, to play ace-10 offsuit. Sometimes you get wrapped up, though, when Adam or Mike raises, playing that hand out of position because you think it's the best hand. But still, you never know how strong you can play it if an ace comes up, right?
Yeah, you've got to realize that Mike and Adam, they're going to get big hands, too.
Yeah.
And if the ace comes out, are you willing to go broke against them if they put some heat on you?
Pocket tens here for Clint from up front. Mike is going to straddle it up here in seat 4. And Clint is going to raise it up to 150. Now, Mo's got ace-queen suited here in seat 8.
Normally a raising hand, especially in this kind of pot. But you know what? When Clint raises, that's the best you can. All you can do is really call.
I wonder if Mo would have called with ace-queen offsuit.
Against Clint, you're not sure, yeah.
And Mike calls with dominated diamonds here. Wow, 7 deuce 4, and Clint has got the overpair, and Mike's got top pair.
And is Mike going to bet it? No, he's going to check it. He's get a little respect for Clint there. He figures Clint's got something pretty good.
Clint's going to bet 400 now. Does Mike snuff out a little weakness in that bet? It is almost a pot-sized bet.
Yeah, it's not really weak. I don't think he's going to call. I think he's going to throw it away.
Really? I mean, that really would be a new element to Mike's game, throwing away top pair right on the flop.
Well, I mean, Clint is raised in first position on a straddled pot.
Yeah.
And now he's bet into 2 players. I mean,
Turn would have been a 10. He would have made a set. So anyways, when I was watching, I T-bowed the game, and I watched it when I woke up.
the Germany one.
Yeah, the Germany game, and obviously, I'm not a huge supporter of Germany or Costa Rica, but I have the CONCACAF love. So I was rooting for Costa Rica, and I didn't really think that Germany played all that well. I thought their defense was very, very suspect. They've got that striker for Costa Rica, and they were playing these offside traps that were just absolutely ridiculous against that team.
Yeah, I thought Germany was
Allowing them
kind
to
of
score 2
impressive
goals.
considering their best player wasn't even playing, Michael Ballack.
Look at Poland. What a flop, huh, today.
Come on. Poland's got nothing going for
They
it.
were expected to win that game.
Yeah, whatever.
Limit
Once you're
run.
Poland, you're always Poland.
Right, 80 more.
Sugar Bear. What do you think, Jared? We got a lot of. I don't know if there's a lot of.
Adam's in a steal here. He's going to try to steal it now. He's got ace-jack.
He's got 10
And Lee is not going to get involved with ace-queen.
Now, is Adam pulled the limp re-raise here?
He has.
Limp re-raise here with ace-jack.
400. How much white chips do you have?
So Adam has limped in. Mike is raised, and Adam has pulled the limp re-raise. Is Mike going to come in here with king 8 suited against Adam?
Like 2,200.
And Adam's play gets a better hand out. Lee actually folded ace-queen. And Mike's in a tough spot where Mike doesn't want to call out of position. And most of the night, he is going to be out of position against Adam. Actually, no, I'm sorry.
No, he's going to be in position against
Right, I'm
Adam.
sorry.
Just out of position in the blinds,
Yeah.
obviously.
Thank you.
But again, like you talk about, you've got a tight player in Clint immediately to Mike's left. And there's that turtle that Adam often uses as a card.
That's what I mean. Actually, Mike's going to be out of position, playing behind Adam most of the night, except when he's on the button and Adam's in the
You're right,
blinds.
you're right, you're
That's
right.
what I meant.
Yeah. Confused me.
You said it to me, and I'm like, yeah, you're right. I'm like, wait a second, no.
Right, because Adam is to his left.
Yeah. Obviously, an enviable place to be in this game.
Limped around here. 5-way action. 10-4-9 with a couple of diamonds here. And Mike is going to come out and lead with middle pair. Now, Clint has a kind of a dry diamond draw next to active, and he calls. Talk about what a dry diamond draw is. That would definitely be a dry diamond draw. He makes the call. And Adam overcalls with queen 4. He's way behind. The turn is a 3, and Clint now picks up a pair with his diamonds. And, you know, no fear in Mike. He's going to lead out again with second pair, which is the best hand. And Clint just folds.
Yeah.
And the river would have been a 7 of diamonds. Clint would have gotten there. We saw in the rabbit cam.
You got to realize, though, we always talk about when you're going for draws, you want to go for draws that are somewhat hidden if you want to get paid off. And obviously, I'm assuming you'd want to get paid off. The flush draw is rarely hidden. People see it. Even the stupidest player out there sees the flush draw.
But the double gutters, when you pick up a double gutter straight draw with your flush draw, something like that, and then
Definitely.
what seems to be an inconsequential card comes on the river, and the guy might check you on the river, and you really throw in maybe even an all-in bet, and he thinks you're bluffing because he doesn't recognize that maybe you had this combination of straight card with your flush draw.
One of my favorite hands, you have Jack 10, the flop comes out ace, queen 8.
Yeah.
You know, you're double gutted, and they never see it.
Yeah.
Plus, if they have an ace, it might be hard for them to get away from it.
In disguise, though?
And Mike is going to raise it up here. He made it 70. Now Kirk is going to call here. He limped in up front with ace queen. Actually, Mike raised. Adam called, and Kirk pulled the limp re-raise, and Adam is called with 4-5 of hearts. Mike is out of the hand.
Wow, nice
Look
flop.
at this. Adam has got heart draw, and Kirk doesn't have anything. Kirk's got ace queen. And he's going to come out and bet big, though.
Now I want to ask you the play here by Adam. Would you ever just bet your flush draw into him, hoping that maybe Kirk's got queens or jacks?
Yeah, I think that's the best play, as opposed to check raising. And he's going to make the call. Wow.
And if he bets right into Kirk, Kirk can't continue.
Well, the turn's a 9, but it's interesting. What if it goes check here? Well, now Adam's going to come out and bet.
And that's a nice
Kirk
play.
immediately folds.
That's not a bad play either.
Yeah.
Definitely not a play.
River was a heart. Adam would have gotten there.
Obviously, there's a number of different ways to play the hand. Checking and calling the all the way is obviously not the right way. But you check call one time, then you put a little money in there. Okay. Obviously, the only problem is if Kirk actually had a king or if Kirk had an aces, you're really exposing a lot of money.
Interesting. Kev Math on 2+2 has said, with the lessons you're offering, are you throwing in free access to Live at the Bike archives?
We'll have to think about
Yeah,
that.
we didn't consider.
We haven't really considered anything yet.
It's just very preliminary.
Exactly.
Lee is limped in here with ace-10 of clubs. Chuck is in there. King 6 suited for Chuck in C2. And this one's going to get limped around 5 ways. So it's a $100 pot here. Queen 7-4 here. No one has much. I don't think anybody has a pair here, Dave.
6 of hearts on the turn.
Ace high is still good. Turns a 9 of diamonds now. And still no one has a pair.
90.
And Mike now is going to take the initiative to bet here on a straight draw. He had the gut shot on the flop. Now he's going to bet on the turn. And ace high is... Well, actually, Adam had a pair of 4s, but he's out of there. Button's going to move over here to seat 6, Adam.
What can you do?
Yeah, he came, he went this side. He went to the bathroom. He went to the bathroom.
We're here live at the bike. We stream live cash games every Monday through Friday from 7 to 10 Pacific American time. Check it out. You also can check it out replay that runs pretty much in a 24-hour loop starting at an hour after the show ends. And on Sunday afternoon, starting at noon Pacific time, you can check out a rerun of the entire week. Now look at this. Mike has raised here with pocket jacks, and Adam's got 10s, and he's going to re-raise them on the button. And all the money might go in right now. It might get in at some point here. $500 re-raise here by Adam, but Mike's got the overpair. And again, I wouldn't be shocked to see maybe all the money goes in now. I saw Mike push with jacks against Jason Katsutani a couple weeks ago, and he moves in. Now, is this an easy laydown here for Adam?
No, not yet.
Can you call with 10s here?
Wow. I got to tell you, I mean, Mike could be bluffing, but he also could have ace-jack. He could have ace-queen. I mean, man, you just got to look at the range of hands, and Mike gets good hands, too, sometimes.
But remember, if it's ace-king or ace-queen...
You're 50-50 here.
All in, all my chips.
And Mike has re-raised all in, which basically means...
Don't you got to love that, though? I mean, you love the action Mike gives. I mean, if you actually had kings or aces here, you're going to double up.
Adam has about over maybe 3,200 in front of him. The pot is 1,000. So it is a $4,200 pot, Dave. 3,200 for Adam to call. So
Yeah.
it's basically getting a little over 1-1 here.
Yeah, you know, Mike rarely makes this play with a complete bluff. I mean, I would put him on this hand. I would either put him on ace-king or jacks or higher.
But remember, though, you're almost getting 1-1. Yeah, if the guy turns his hand over and he's got 2 overs, you should call. But the other range here, you're in big trouble.
Well, it also depends, though. You know, I think if Adam goes broke, I don't think he can rebuy.
Right.
So even if he shows you 2 overs, you might not want to pick this spot. I mean, I guess if he shows you 2 overs and you go, let's run it twice, you know, you're probably going to win 1 at least. But I don't know. I mean, I pick a better spot than 10s. You got to realize that Mike can have a big hand.
Barry's enjoying it. I'm having a great time. Life at the bike solely exists for my entertainment. That's true.
Barry's still having some fun there. Again, if you missed us, Barry gave Mike a horseshoe to stick up his ass.
Yeah. Well, I think it was actually I think he said he found it because it obviously fell out of Mike's ass.
Adam is really taking a lot of time with this one.
You don't want to, you go.
I think Adam's going to lay it down partly for the reason that you said, Dave, that if he goes broke here, he
Yeah,
can't
and look
play
at Mike.
anymore.
Mike actually says, wow, you're a real hand. I didn't think you had a real hand.
Yeah.
Nines or ace king, and it's always convenient how he puts somebody on the hand we can beat.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, if you put the guy on nines or ace king,
You call.
well then you call, right? But if you put him on nines, why couldn't he have jacks?
If 50% of the time he has 9s and 50% of the time he's got ace-king,
Oh, you gotta call.
well, you're a huge favorite 50% of the time. The other half, it's only 50-50.
Yeah, I mean, that's an easy call, but
Yeah.
I mean, I think if you're putting him on nines, I think you've got to think.
I would be really surprised if Adam calls here. Remember, he was down to $200 this afternoon. He's running up to 3,200 here, Dave.
It's another thing. I mean, like we said earlier, Adam likes to bluff. He doesn't like to call off his money, and most good players like to push it. And they don't want to call off their money.
I don't want to lose $3 grand on a coin flip, man. I already got 500 of your money. I'll take that and go on to the next thing.
Look at Mike. Mike egging him to call.
I'll tell you that right now.
Yep, on a coin flip. Right?
Yeah, Mike says we're on a coin flip.
If I miss, I miss.
I hope Adam doesn't fall for that.
Mike egging him on with the I've got the 2 overcards.
Again, though, Adam is not the type of guy that really wants to call all in.
Yeah, Mike's saying he doesn't want to call.
And we're going to get a clock here.
I just got a text that says you have 2 10s.
I think somebody asked for a clock. And again, this is actually why we moved up to a 10-minute delay in these bigger games, Dave.
We'll see some of the emails coming in. We'll get to them in a second after Adam lays it down, I assume.
I'm not saying.
I mean, it's been about 4 or 5 minutes already.
Obviously a big decision here. It's a big pot. $4,200 pot, $3,200.
Got 30 seconds here for Adam.
And he said, "Give me $100 back, and I won't call." Would you ever actually give him the $100 back, making it look like you don't want to call? Hey, I'm just trying to, you start thinking psychology. It's kind of a warfare type thing. Would you ever say, "Okay, I'll give you the $100 back"? Let's hear what Mike says.
No.
No, he says no.
Yeah, I'll say.
Look at Adam. He's trying to get a read. It's great that we have this picture.
Everyone's talking about it.
Yeah, I think in 10 seconds, I think Don is going to count down 10 seconds, and in 10 seconds, his hand is dead.
Your hand is dead.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And his hand is dead.
Your hand is dead.
His hand is dead.
All right, it's over.
That's it.
About that.
And Mike's going to take it down, and it's a good lay down by Adam. You know what?
Yeah, I'm saying.
Yeah, Mike could have had nines. Yeah, Mike could have had ace-king. But he also could have jacks and queens.
And again, the little tell that I picked up on Mike is normally when he wants someone to show, when he shows his cards, he wants to rub it in with like some sort of bluff. Like if he had done that with ace-9, he would have shown it.
If he had nines or less,
Yeah.
if he had less than tens, he shows. Not even a question.
But here, he doesn't show.
Right.
I'm still turning river, man. Hey, Wayne, where'd you go, man?
Well, that's like most
I don't
people,
think I ever tipped Wayne in my life.
right? Most people love to show the bluff. Oh, look what I did to you. Here it is.
Email here by Sonia Patterson. She says, "Is Clint single? Damn, he's hot."
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
And then we have an email here from
Smoking.
Johnny saying, "Okay, guys, did you finally settle on your fee? Please share since you shared the promotion of your new venture." Well, because this is kind of a new thing, David and I have kind of been talking back and forth the last week, and we really haven't settled on something that's constant yet.
Yeah, like I said, I actually gave my first lesson today, so
Yeah.
Bart and I are kind of just in preliminary talks, and
Right.
we'll probably come up with something in the next week.
I mean, one of the other things that we're figuring out, though, sometimes we kind of let our viewers into this process as the clock gets limped around here, is that even though, Dave, if we just do an hour's worth of lesson, it actually might take 2 or 3 hours worth of our time out.
Oh, of course.
King, Jack, Jack here on the flop. Like you were saying, you had to do some prep work, of course, at home before the lesson and such.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, Barry's actually got 2 pair. He's going to bet. I don't think anybody's going to call this. Nobody's got spades. But, wow.
Chuck is going to mini check raise him here. Maybe and Barry calls with King Deuce, but we don't know really how Chuck plays. He's got an overcard and a gut shot. Turns a 3.
And now what does Chuck do, though? I always wonder that check raise where, okay,
He
now,
checks, and now Barry checks behind him. And the river now is a 3. And it looks like Chuck is going to bluff at it here.
and can Barry beat anything?
Well, he's bet kind of weak. It's a $500 bet.
Yeah,
Barry's
but
gonna
what
get
can
about,
Barry beat, though?
Yeah, Barry's going to get
He
about
can't
3
beat
to
a
1.
king. Remember, the board is kings and jacks. Barry has kings and jacks with a 3 kicker.
And he gets rid of it.
And the problem with it is I just don't understand. Okay, I don't have the problem with lay down on the river, but then why did you call the raise and the flop?
All in? All right, all in.
So we have another email asking how much
Yeah.
are you guys charging. Like I said, we don't know exactly.
It'll be,
yet.
yeah, we'll let you guys know. And I do appreciate, obviously, we asked you guys and we asked everybody at home, what should I charge? I didn't know. So,
Whalecock on 2. We're going to see a chip count here. First one of the night.
There's your 80 right there.
Okay, we'll do that in a second.
that's hysterical.
Mike's going to raise it up here with King Jack off suit. He made it 80, Mike did with King Jack, and Adam is re-raised again here to 300. He's got pocket 9s. And Barry is going to call the raise and the re-raise with ace-5 suited, David. Ace rag wheel card suited.
I don't like your call. You don't call it, call it.
And I don't think that Mike's going to get involved now that Barry calls. And Barry's in horrific shape, but he does have position on Adam.
Yeah, I mean, if the flop comes out higher than 9 here, well, it didn't.
Oh, and now is Barry going to get involved, though? He's got middle pair backdoor spades with the overcard kicker. Adam bets kind of weak. He bets 300
Well, I mean,
here.
are you sure you're good? Remember, Barry smooth called you. Couldn't he smooth call with 10s or jacks?
And Barry makes a quick call here, and this pot is quickly $1,400.
I gotta tell you, if I'm Adam, I'm trying to keep this pot
Oh,
as
look
small
at
as
this. The
possible.
turn is a 6, and Barry picks up nut spades now as well.
How about if Adam? See, this would be a perfect spot for Barry to raise. This really would be a perfect spot for Barry to raise.
$600 bet, and just a call here by Barry. $2,500 pot. Adam needs to dodge some cards at the river.
Oh, it's a
river
5.
is a 5, and Barry's got trip 5s.
All right.
And Adam checks. And Barry's going to bet 1,000 here. Actually, about $1,100 bet. The pot is $3,600, $1,100 to call.
Now
there's
I'm
a
only
one
wondering.
card straight out there, too.
That's the one thing I was wondering there. If Barry raises,
And Adam calls. He called with the 9s, and Barry's going to take it down there.
if
with
Barry
ace-5.
raises the turn, does Adam call?
I didn't know where you were. These guys all pay me.
I mean, Adam can't beat really any other overpair. The only thing he can beat there is 8s, right?
That's what you start thinking about. You go, what did Barry call me with?
Right. Unbelievable hand there.
You know what I mean? You got to start thinking, wait, Mike raised, I re-raised, Barry called me, and I bet right into him, and then I bet into him again. Now, if Barry moves all in on the turn, I don't know if Adam can call. I really don't.
Post here on 2+2 by Whalecock. It says, how many more minutes until Dave brags about going to an English bar to watch England in the World Cup tomorrow around 6 a.m.? And what are the chances the bar has a rainbow flag above the door?
That's
Very
great.
high. Very high.
Hey, you know what, man? I love to give, so I got to be able to take it. So, appreciate that, Wilcock. That's pretty funny.
Pocket aces here for Lee in seat 1. And pocket kings for Kirk on the button. Oh,
wow.
boy. Aces against kings here. And Kirk, he's going to bring this one in for raise. How is Lee going to play it? Sometimes, remember, we saw one time somebody played aces a little too hard and let somebody off the hook. Now, this time, though, kings are in position and aces are out of position.
Yeah, I mean, I think you have to raise this with aces out of position. It's 160 to go. But I think with a couple of limper in there, plus the big blind behind you.
Especially if Adam is the limper.
Exactly.
And Lee's going to immediately raise. And what is Kirk going to do? Is he just going to push immediately?
Remember, Lee is raising a button raise.
Right.
So Lee could have a hand that's not that strong.
He's going to make it 500. What is Kirk going to do
Wow,
here?
that's a big raise.
This one's going to be interesting.
That's a big raise.
If anybody watched the video blog, Dave, from last week, we talked about supposedly how Kirk had kings and Avo had aces. And Kirk was out of position. Supposedly he kind of played it tried to lose the minimum, didn't play the kings that hard.
I still think he had queens.
Yeah, I do. I somewhat do as well.
Oh, this really puts Kirk in a tough spot. It does. Now, obviously, a lot of different ways to play it if you're Kirk. You can move in, you can fold, or you can call thinking you have the best hand, thinking maybe my opponent has queens, but you've got to realize your opponent could have aces.
Yeah, I mean, if this board comes out less than 10 high, I think all the money's going in here. It's over $1,000 pot. Well, there's a jack. That's one other hand that you might not be able to beat, a set of jacks
Well,
now.
if you're Kirk now, the only hand you can... And Lee moves all in, and what does Kirk do here?
And he called quickly. The only thing he can beat here is queens, right?
And that's the only hand that Lee would do it with his queens or aces. You can beat one of them, you can't beat the other one. And
Yeah.
Lee actually said, do you have jacks? And he said no.
Wow.
We've got aces versus kings. Great work done by the dealer there.
Man, I don't know if they're going to run it at all here. Kirk needs a king. Turn is a 5.
I don't think they are.
Here we go to the river. It's another jack.
Yeah, and Lee's going to double through there.
Yep.
And that's just a gift. I mean, those are situations that just.
Well, it's
much.
not a gift from Kirk. It's just it's what we call overhead. I think sometimes.
No,
I think when you have kings on the button and you get re-raised out of the blind, remember we talked about in detail yesterday. When someone re-raises a button raiser, that person's standard range of a re-raise goes down because he is re-raising a button raiser.
The only thing, and then you wonder is if Lee is familiar with the show, then he's familiar that Kirk is not doing a button steal.
Yeah. And that's why we talk about if you pick up aces on the button and you raise, and a guy in the blind re-raises, it is almost proper to smooth call because we saw a couple weeks ago that guy that got away from kings pre-flop against Amir because Amir pushed in position.
Aces against kings, you finally... you can't beat 9-3 and you can't beat 10-7, but you can beat 2 kings.
I was kind of surprised that Kirk didn't. I mean, Kirk, he sometimes takes some time. I mean, he moved in immediately.
Yeah, as if there was no chance.
Yeah.
There's no chance this guy could have me beat.
I mean, I always talk about it in
Weird.
the afternoon against some of the players, and they sometimes make fun of me and laugh. I was actually talking about we'll get to a chip count here, that is not necessarily a great board for kings. If it comes out queen high or jack high, even you think the guy's got an overpair. Because you lose to aces and you lose to jacks. Let's take a look at a chip count.
Yeah, Barry's got the most money at the table. He's got him covered. Mike in second place with 6,300. Almost $30K on the table. That's right, $30,000 on this table. And let's see how they're doing so far. Mike as usual, our big winner so far, he's up $2,600. Lee, after that win, is up $2,400. And the rest of the table is pretty much even or down.
Let me ask you a question, Dave.
Go ahead.
Now, I think, what did that flop come up? Jack 4 deuce or something like
Yes.
that? What if the flop came Queen 4 deuce? Does that change anything?
Of course it does.
So now kings are even weaker.
Well, you've got to... Okay, I'm going to get to his F this hand.
Ace 8-5 here with a couple of hearts. I mean, isn't that a really bad flop for kings if it comes out Queen 4
It
deuce?
depends on the player you're playing against and how he bets it, but it could be, yeah.
Turns a 7.
I believe we have a straight here, don't we?
Yeah,
9-6
C3's
for
got
C3.
9-6. He didn't bet it. Now Mike is going to bet here with 10-7.
Wow, and Adam's got 9-6 as well.
Wow, 2 straights. Adam raises. And Dave also has the 6-9, and this one's going to get chopped up.
And unfortunately for... Yeah, and Mike's easily going to get rid of the pair of 7s now.
C3 re-raises here. Makes it 600, and I think, and Adam moves in. And a quick call, and it's the same hand.
Yeah, and they're going to chop it up.
Chop it up. So again, I want to get back to that question about
Okay.
how does that affect that hand if it comes queen?
If a queen
four
comes
deuce?
out, if you know Lee, and I don't know Lee, but if you know Lee is a real solid player who's not going to dunk off chips.
Yeah.
Now, Lee has re-raised you to $500, and he knows that Kirk is called. Okay. Now the flop comes out queen high, and he moves all in.
Right.
Well, is he moving all in with jacks or lower?
Right.
Very odd play.
Right.
Okay. So theoretically, he would either have a set of queens or a better. Right? Now, you only have kings, which now you start thinking about it going, well, unless he's on a complete bluff, really, what could he be moving in with? Now, I guess theoretically he could be doing that with ace-queen, but that's a big raise out of the blind with ace-queen.
And I think your point is with the jack 4 deuce flop,
He could have queens.
might make the play with queens, a hand that you can beat. But if the flop was queen 4 deuce, there's really not a whole lot you can beat. And a lot of people say, Bart, what are you talking about? How is that not a good flop for kings? Well, with that type of pre-flop hand action and with those specific players, you have to understand that that's not a good flop for kings. Queen
Well, I mean,
4
you got to
deuce.
realize that Lee is willing to commit all his chips with whatever he has in his hand. Is he going to do that with an underpair? Remember, he knows you just called a $500 bet.
Right.
130.
It's going to get limped around here, and Mike is going to raise it out of the big blind. He's going to make it 130 to go here with ace-queen offsuit. Clint's going to call with the suited connector here. He does have position on Mike. And this is kind of that catch-22 against Mike because you don't know if he's in there with a real hand. Well, queen, jack 4. Mike's hit top pair.
Well, this is a great flop.
And Mike checked it, and Clint's going to bet here with the open-ended straight draw.
And Mike's probably going to check raise this. Well, I'm not sure if I like the check raise here because you got to realize there's not much value to a check raise. You're only going to get called by a hand that beats you. This is one of the rare cases that Clint's actually got a draw. Mike also has the ace of clubs in his hand, so you know Clint's not doing this with an ace high flush draw.
I think Mike, I mean, he's talking to himself like he thinks Clint has a big hand here, maybe like kings or aces, because he said this would be such a big laydown. I think he is worried that Clint has a really big hand here.
Man, that's a lot of respect he's giving Clint, isn't it?
I mean, Clint did limp under the gun. Well, Mike is going to call here.
Wow.
And this pot is about $1,300. Turns a 7.
And this might go check, I imagine.
And it does go check. And the river is an 8, and Clint gets there.
1,000.
And Mike bets 1,000, and Clint pushes all in, and Clint's got him. And there it is.
And you know, it's funny, Mike's berating the dealer there, but he kind of played it like a girl. I mean, have you ever seen Mike play it passive?
I think he was
Mike-
really, yeah.
He played that hand almost scared.
I think he was really worried that Clint had limped in with like a big overpair and was trying to pull the limp re-raise. But Clint
Then
didn't
fold.
re-raise, though.
Then
He
fold
was-
your hand. Then just fold it.
Well, that's
You
what he
can't
was
call
talking-
though.
That's what he was talking about on the flop. He was talking about.
I would have
folding.
rather the fold, wouldn't you? You can't. The board is Jack Queen with 2 clubs out there, and I know he has the ace of clubs in his hand, but that's a heck of a What, are you just going to check and call the whole way?
Email here from Aaron Gardner saying, Bart and David, what do you think about the World Series of Poker main event final table on pay-per-view? Well, I just learned of that in Kev Math's opening post.
Are you? I can't believe it's on pay-per-view.
And I wonder which commentator. I mean, is it going to be the same commentators that Lon McCarron and Chad,
Norm Chad.
Norm and Chad, and they're going to kind of do it like the WPT, where they're going to have live commentary and post-production.
Well,
where normally ESPN is all post-production.
Well, is the pay-per-view live?
Yes, I think it is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So there's no post-production. It's right there. It's live.
No, but the point is, I'll get to it in a second here. 7-4-5 here. Barry Woods. Oh, he's not in the hand. Would have flopped a straight. Clint is going to bet here with 4-6 pair and an open-ended straight draw. And Mike, look at his hand. He's open-ended with the king-high flush draw.
Yeah, he's in good shape.
Turn is a 7 now. Adam is in the hand. Oh, excuse me.
Now, Clint is actually a favorite, though. You can see it here.
Look at this, though.
Oh,
Chuck,
no, I'm sorry.
Chuck is turn trips here, and he's
Okay.
going to bet. Mike instant calls, and we're heads up here. 7-8 against king 6, and Mike makes it at the end. And he's going to move in. He's going to move in. He says, I got a straight. He does have a straight, but he also has a flush. And how much does Chuck have left here?
Now, I'm only curious. What happens if an 8 had come off? I wonder if the 8 of hearts had come off, or just any 8.
Mike probably would have doubled Chuck through.
I mean, is that what? That's what I'm wondering.
Chuck folds. Chuck makes a fold there.
I mean, you talk about the reverse implied odds there.
Yeah.
Obviously, the 3, and it was a heart even more so. But imagine the 8 comes out, and Chuck fills up. I mean, he's in a real great spot there.
Now, what I was saying about that commentary, the way that WPT does it, Dave, is that you see Mike Sexton and Vince Van Patten. They do a spatter of live,
yeah, I know.
of live and post, and maybe that's what the ESPN is going to do.
No. That's what I'm saying. That's where you're incorrect. Because they do a spatter of live and then post, but we see it 3 months later. The ESPN pay-per-view is going to be live.
Right, but the ESPN, when they put it on ESPN, is going to be on regular ESPN 3 months later.
Right, but the pay-per-view is actually going to be live.
I understand that, but
Okay.
my point is that they might not use the same commentators.
No, they might not.
But if they do, it's probably going to be a combination of live and post-production when it goes on ESPN.
Right.
That's my point.
Obviously, the pay-per-view part's going to be all live.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
That's my point. We've got a raise here by Mike to 120 with 10-6 offsuit, and Adam's call with 9-5 suited, and Adam's getting short now. Oh, king 5 deuce. Adam only has about 700. He lost that money to, is it Barry, right?
Yeah, well, he bet with the best hand, and then he called with the worst hand.
Adam bets 100 here with middle pair. Now, you know, what might be going through Mike's head is that Adam is short. When we talk about when you're short in a no-limit game, it is sometimes proper to check raise. So why would Adam come out and bet here? And Mike's going to raise him right away. I mean, wouldn't Adam check raise here with the king and try to get all the chips in? And Adam immediately folds.
It's also a matter of
And he shows the bluff.
There you go.
Yeah.
You also wonder, is Mike going to let Adam? Adam's probably playing a little more scared now. You got to realize, I don't know if Adam has money in reserve. What we've seen of Adam is that he normally has 1 buy-in or 2 buy-ins, and that's it. If he goes broke, well, he's done. And he might be playing it a little bit scared now just because he goes, well, I don't want to lose it all.
Is that a Rolex? Is that a real Rolex? If you think it is. But who can tell? Do you know what that's from?
I don't. What's that from?
Home Alone.
Oh. One of the classics, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I think Home Alone's a classic. You don't think so?
Classic?
I mean, I think it's a good. I mean, it's kind of one of those, you know, maybe cult comedies.
Okay.
I mean, it was actually nominated for Best Picture in '88. Ace Jack 3 or with a couple of spades.
Lee and Chuck both have the same hand. Now, that was a case ace. Mike's got ace deuce.
This was limped around. Nobody raised. With neither Lee or Chuck raised. Maybe trying to pull the limp re-raise. So a bet by Ace King and just a call here by Chuck. And is Mike going to overcall with Ace Deuce?
He's raising.
He's going to raise. And here's the problem with Ace King. You only have 1 pair. This pot is limped around. You might not put a lot of credence in Mike's raise. But how much heat do you want to take with 1 pair?
Well,
no
if
limit?
Lee, you've got to wonder, why is this guy calling me behind, too? Who has Chuck got?
And now Lee is going to re-raise. He's going to make it 500 more.
And what do you do with your Chuck here?
I just don't think you can get involved. The pot's getting too big now.
Well, it's very easy for somebody to have. It's very easy for Lee to have ace jack here. It really is. Obviously, he could also have a set of threes. He could have ace-3.
One of the themes of the last couple weeks of the show is talking about manipulating pot size, protecting your stack. You've got a bet you called raised by Mike. This guy's come over the top. It's a limped pot. And he pushes in here with ace-king. I mean, that's going to get Mike out. And I think that Lee's probably going to be committed to call because I don't think it's that much more. Let's see how much more it is.
It's another like $1,200, $1,300.
No, $800 more, Dave, for a $2,000 pot, and Lee makes a quick call, getting about a little over 2.5 to 1.
Okay.
And these guys are chopping it up. There's no way. Turns a 10.
How about a deuce right there, man? I triple up.
And the river's a deuce. Mike would have made aces up. But again, it's funny. You limp in with a big hand, hoping that aggressive kind of maniac guy is going to raise with the intention of limp re-raising. You don't get the raise in. Now you've hit the ace.
Yeah, I don't mind the way Lee played it because Lee bet it. You get a call behind you, so you think maybe the guy's got a spade draw. Now Mike raises, and Mike can raise with any number of hands. So you put another raise in there to try to find out where you're at and define your hand a little bit. I'm shocked. Once you put that re-raise in, I got to tell you, if I'm shocked, ace-king is hitting the muck very quickly.
Now, the re-raise by Lee is fine. The problem is that he's got a lot of money, Lee does, and so does Mike. So, Lee bets on a call, and now Mike raises. Lee has got to be very careful. He can't push back because Mike has him covered.
No, he raised it, though.
Right.
And let's say Chuck folds, which he probably should have done, and Mike calls.
Now we got to reevaluate a little.
Yeah, then you can play it.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes you see a player just commit everything, and that would be kind of suicide, obviously.
Yeah.
Because the pot's limped around.
That's what Mike lives off of. He lives off of people going, well, you must be bluffing, so I'm going to overcommit all my chips with one pair.
I mean, that's kind of the same. It's the same type of situation with if you had limped in with aces and the board comes, 7 deuce 3 rainbow.
Exactly. It made no difference at all. You have one pair. Are you ready to commit all your chips with one pair?
Mike's going to raise to 60, and look at Barry. He's going to come in just to play against Mike with queen deuce offsuit here, out of position against Mike.
I'll let you know. I have a pair now.
And Mike has flopped the wheel.
Yeah.
Mike has flopped the wheel, ace deuce 3 here. Excuse me. I can't. Barry's in the small blind. And Barry's going to come out and bet. And look at this. Mike mini raises him to 200, says, let's build a pot. And Barry quickly calls. 700. And Barry's hit trip deuces. Oh, this could be gigantic, Dave. This is unbelievable.
That really could.
Barry's going to come out and bet 300.
And what is Mike going to do? Let's build a pot.
He said, you got a deuce, man. You got an F and deuce. But Mike's got the nuts net. Well, the board is paired, but he flopped the wheel.
Yeah, but look at Mike, though. Look at Mike play it. Let's listen to him for a second.
He's just going to call. He does not raise.
I got to hear him, though. Hold on.
He didn't raise there. And the river's a 7. Backdoor spade possibilities now.
No. He's got a deuce. He knows he's got a deuce. Mike called him on the deuce, so he can't have backdoor spades.
Barry bets 800.
And Mike's going to raise this up probably about, I think Mike's going to raise it 2,000.
Pot's 2,100 right now, Dave.
I
think Mike could have raised on the turn and gotten all of Barry's chips. And with a raise on the turn and an in on the river, now he can't maybe commit all the chips because the pot isn't big enough. How much is he going to make it here?
Is there any way, can Barry get off it because of backdoor spades? Can Barry put him on backdoor spades?
He's going to raise it 1,500 here. But I got to tell you, Mike left some chips on the table here. He really did, and he usually doesn't do that. Barry's not going to push back, is he, Dave?
No, he can't push back. He's just going to call, though.
Barry's going to make the call, and this pot is going to be over 5,000. Mike flopped the wheel. But do you see what I'm saying? I think Mike left money on the table. Barry comes out and bets 300 there on the turn. If Mike makes it 900, Barry might push back, but even if Barry doesn't push back, you've got an additional $1,200 to $1,500 in there. Now the river comes, and Mike can put more in.
Well,
I wanted him to think I was upset
okay,
about the deuce.
I got to ask you something. No.
Yeah.
If he raises the turn, though.
Barry check to him on the river.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you don't get that $800 bet in there. So it's almost the same. Because you mini raised the 600. Yeah, Barry calls the 600. Well, Barry puts in 800 anyway.
But you also have to consider the fact that if Barry does have a deuce there are some cards that might scare Barry a lot, like 4 or 5.
How about an ace?
An ace, a 4, or a 5 on the river, right?
I don't think a 4 or 5 as much as an ace. I think he thinks Mike's got an ace.
Yeah.
I mean, I just love the fact that you got to be a little scared, though, that Mike puts you on the hand you have, right?
Yeah.
He says, oh, you got an F and deuce. I can't believe you got a deuce. Man, you are a piece of work, dealer. You give him a deuce. I'm going to raise. That's got to start thinking about it, doesn't it?
Limped around here. I see your point, though, because you don't get the bet in, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying there are two different ways to play that. I don't terribly mind the way Mike played that hand, obviously.
Let me go out so far as to say, if Mike actually pushes in on the turn, Barry might call him.
Yeah.
I'm serious. He might call him.
Yeah, if he overbets, if he raises and overbets it, Mike might call.
So maybe, at that point, so let me do it another way, Dave. Barry bets 300 on the turn. The pot's about 1,000. I said Mike makes it 900. How about right now? Mike now makes it 2,000 or 2,500. A big raise, over raise. Barry calls, and now Mike, once Barry checks to him in the river, can now push in. Talking about building the pot.
Definitely the way to play it.
He did leave some money on the table. And Mike called his hand out. Deuce.
Unbelievable.
Button moves over here to Mo.
I tell you, man, I give Wellcock a little credit for ribbing me, and he just keeps going.
Mike's going to raise here to 80 with King Deuce of Hearts. And look at Barry. Look at his body language over there now. I mean, he's just kind of...
Hearts, I got hearts.
Mike, again, sometimes when Mike talks about his hand, he's telling the truth. He says he's got hearts, and he does.
I need some hearts.
That's the thing. One of the reasons it's always funny, you hear a lot of players, you hear actually Joe Seabock say this all the time. He goes, God, if without my iPod, I couldn't play. And I wonder, because I think if you listen to an iPod while you're playing with a guy like Mike, you give a lot away. Because he tells you some stuff, and you can pick up some things.
Chuck call with pocket sixes here. Gets checked to Adam. He's going to bet with bottom pair.
And I think he's committed himself.
Yeah, at this point, Mike's got to realize there's no fold equity. I mean, he has absolutely nothing.
Take it down.
Yep.
Mr. Brown. Once again, we're live at the bike. I'm David Tuckman here with Bart Hanson. This is Double Fist Friday. Got 10, 20, no limit hold'em. This is a minimum buy-in of $1,000 and no max. We've got well over $30,000 on the table right now. A lot of action.
Started here,
A
man.
lot of excitement.
Taught me. Used to come over and take all my money. Huh. I said, how long you been playing? I said,
If you want to email us, you can email us at live@thebike.com. We try to keep the show as interactive as possible. Think of it like a sports talk radio show, but for poker, obviously. Well, we talk about sports too, actually.
$160 raise here by Mike with Jack 10 of diamonds here in C4. We have not
160,
seen,
huh?
We've seen Mo play one hand tonight, ace queen suited. Just waiting, David. Hovering kind of like a little in the bushes,
The funny thing is, when he finally plays a hand, people still don't believe him.
And look at this. Barry's called Mike with 7-4 offsuit. So, I mean, Barry just wants to get Mike. Now, did Mike I think Barry might have... Did he throw a little re-raise in there? Barry re-raised Mike.
Well, Mike's got a gut shot straight draw, and Barry's got the best hand here with a pair of sevens.
Barry bets 220. He re-raised Mike with 7-4, and I bet you he's going to show it, Dave, if Mike folds.
Well, seven's the best hand right now.
Mike does have overcards and the gut shot.
And this is what Mike loves. Mike loves people trying to get him. I mean, I love it too. Somebody goes, I'm going to get you, Tuckman. Yeah, okay,
But
great.
there's no way that Mike can really win a big hand here, right? It might go check, and Mike and Mike might bluff the river. The turn's a 9. Barry's still in the lead.
Barry cannot beat.
And it goes check here. And here we go to the river.
Oh.
And the river is an 8. Mike makes it.
Well,
And he throws a little bet out here.
you wonder if Mike was going to bluff the river no matter what. Can Barry call this?
He bets 800 here. I mean, this is such a pure bluff catcher. Busted spades. He
Well-
can't beat a 9. He can't beat a straight.
Well, what could Mike have here?
He can't beat 6-8 either. Would Mike bet 6-8?
I don't believe that he has 6-8 here.
It's an $800 bet here. And the pot is about, I want to say the pot's about 1,500. So Barry's getting a little over 2 to 1.
Mike either has a pretty big hand. Mike's either got like a 9,
And Barry lays it down.
a flush, a straight, or probably busted spades. Nice laydown by Barry.
And obviously Mike can really deduce that Barry did not have an ace there. You probably put Barry on something like queens or kings, maybe. Well, although, Barry might call with queens or kings there on the river.
You wonder if Barry actually had the courage to fire on the turn if he wins it.
And, you look at that hand, and you and I know that queens or kings there, the way that hand played out, what's on board, is no better than 4-7.
Oh, yeah,
But
no,
I don't necessarily know if Barry would recognize that. He still might call with queens or kings.
I don't think, although Mike's game's gotten pretty advanced to the point where you wonder, would he bet ace-queen there?
Yeah.
Mike might. He might
I'm
bet
just saying
ace-queen.
that kings, queens, or 7-4 there, it's the same hand by the end.
Oh,
pretty
definitely.
much.
Yeah, Mike's
Yeah.
not betting a pair of eights.
Yeah. 140. But again, sometimes Barry has a little trouble getting away from hands. Those cards might like nice, and he still pays them off. You know what I mean?
Well, Barry's got tens this time. He's raised it.
Made it 140 to go. Chuck is going to call with ace-queen offsuit the small blind. Again, kind of a trouble hand. And Adam is in there in the short stack with 9-5 of diamonds. Oh, ace-4-7 here. See how Chuck is going to play it. He checks.
Not a bad way to play it because you know Barry's going to continuation bet. You can put a little check raise in.
Now, so you wouldn't play it as a check call here. $400 bet here by Barry.
I might check call and then lead on the bet, lead on the turn.
He's going to min raise it here. He min raises right away here with ace-queen.
I'm not going to check the turn. That's for sure.
The problem here for Chuck is that Barry's going to call, maybe taking into consideration the 10 of clubs in his hand, and now what does Chuck do? Barry calls with tens here. The turn's a 4, it changes nothing. The pot is about $2,300, and it goes check, check. And the river's a 6. Now I
got to tell you, I bet this.
You value bet ace-queen.
I definitely value bet this.
Oh, I think did he check it? Oh, he checked it. He checked it. He's kind of let Barry a little bit off the hook there.
And this gives you so much information. If you're sitting at the table and you're paying attention, you realize, you look at the way Chuck played ace-queen there, and you go, okay, well, this gentleman is not going to be value betting his somewhat marginal hands. It gives an awful lot away. If you want to check out an article I wrote on Shirley's website, you can go to poker-babes.com, and I wrote a whole article on value betting. And I really think that you're giving an awful lot away when you are not betting that hand on the river.
I mean, I got to tell you, I'm so familiar with Barry's game. One of the things that I don't think he has necessarily in his arsenal, and I'm not saying it's improper, is that I have never really seen him check the turn to control pot size. That's not something he would do. So when he checks the turn, I'm pretty sure he doesn't have an ace there.
Yeah.
You know
Probably
what I mean?
not, yeah.
Limped around
And
here
you're almost
5 ways.
100% sure he still doesn't have an ace-king.
Yeah. He definitely fires again. King, deuce, 8 here.
Ooh, Chuck's got a set of deuces. Let's see how he plays on the button.
He's on the button here.
2 clubs out there. Anybody with a club draw? Nope.
Yeah,
And it checks around. He checked it on the button.
Turns a 3. And no one really has anything here. I mean, he might get somebody to try to...
Well, he did. Dave is going to throw a little money in there. He's got 6-7. He's got nothing at all. No, I'm sorry. Dave's got... What does Dave have?
Dave has a pair of 8s.
Pair of 8s. There you go.
So what is Chuck going to do here?
I think you need to raise this up a little bit. Build yourself a pot. I mean, I suppose you can call it if you think the guy's on an 8, say.
He's going to min raise.
Yeah, that's an easy fold.
Dave's out of there. You know, everyone out there knows Dave and I, we're probably going to bet bottom set there, checked around to us on the flop 100% of the time. 95% of the time, depending on the table.
Yeah, I mean, once in a while. I mean, I don't want to say 100% of the time, 'cause I don't think I do anything 100% of the time.
Yeah.
If there's ever a time I would check it, it might be when Mike's at the table.
You know, today in the afternoon, I had a guy that I was playing against that really doesn't like me. He actually despises me, and I had called his raise with ace-queen.
Shocking.
And we were 3 ways, and the flop came ace-high. He checked it to me, and I checked. The turn, and I played it actually tricky. The turn was another ace. He bet, and I called the turn.
What did you have?
Ace-queen. And then the river was a blank. He bet, and I raised, and then he released the hand. And I was trying to make it look like I was bluffing him, which is something very, very rare that I play a hand like tricky like
Right.
that, you know. Mike is going to raise it out of the small blind 100 more here with Jack 5 of hearts. And, you know, earlier on we used to say that Mike, he has got a great style for tournaments, but kind of correctly, as you pointed out recently, I don't know if he's got the patience for tournaments. Dave is going to call him with dominated, he's got Mike dominated with hearts, ace-8. Well, if Mike continues on, he's going to take this one down. I mean, people might say, Dave Bart, what do you mean? He doesn't have the patience for tournaments, but he can play in cash games? Isn't it the other way around?
Well, it's funny, you know, I mean, I think he might be successful in real deep stack tournaments. The problem is that most of those deep stack tournaments go on for 5 days.
Right.
And I think at some point in the 5-day time, Mike is going to burn out. Because he just doesn't change gears. He just keeps pushing and keeps pushing and keeps pushing. And you've got to realize that a big part of Mike's success is the fear that he puts in other people's faces. He is not scared to put $10,000 in cash right in the middle of the table with somewhat of a marginal holding. But he knows everybody else at the table is scared. But in a tournament, people aren't as scared to put their money in because they've already bought in. They're not real. It's not real money anymore. It's tournament chips. So they're more apt to fire back at Mike in a tournament than they are in a cash game.
They're more apt to call with marginal hands as well.
Of course. Well, in a tournament, it's just it's that mentality where I've already paid. I'm already paid. I've already lost that money. These are just tournament chips. But in a cash game, people play it more scared. More scared. Is that right?
Or just more conservative because it is real cash.
Exactly.
Limped around here.
That fear enters into it.
Queen 3 Jack here.
2 pair for Adam.
Yeah, Adam's got top and bottom here. And Barry's got the second nut diamond draw with the Jack. 80? It's an $80 bet. And I don't think Barry's going anywhere.
Would you ever just move in here if you're Barry? I mean, against Adam, and obviously this is a bad time
you
to do it right now.
You have to take into account what Clint's stack is as well. Clint's real deep.
Oh no, I wouldn't. I would raise up to 400 though, committing Adam.
He's going to raise.
And I like the play. I really do. I mean, he's behind here, but not that much.
Adam's going to push. Barry's going to call, and it's about 50-50, and I think Barry's going to,
it's
he's going to
exactly
blow a socket here if he loses this one.
It's exactly 50-50. And there's a diamond.
Turns a diamond.
And Adam needs a queen or a 3.
Yeah.
Nope, not going to come.
That was close.
And I like the play by Barry. I really do. You're isolating a player like Adam. Now, Adam could have made that move with a hand as weak as, say, Jack 9 or Jack 8. And then in that case, you've almost got Adam drawing dead. And obviously, when you raise there, if Clint re-raises you, well, then you've got to reevaluate. And that's it for Adam.
Got an email here from Steve, long-term viewer. He says ESPN will offer poker fans live broadcast of the final table of the main event via a $24.95 pay-per-view package. The final table, scheduled to start 3 p.m. Eastern on Thursday, August 10th, and continue until the new world champion is crowned. The package is available through cable providers or can be viewed on ESPN's webpage. Also, the World Series main event final table will be on Sirius Satellite Radio, and Phil Gordon will be providing the play-by-play coverage. And a couple of people, other people have emailed us saying, you wonder, are they going to show the hole cards live? Now, that's something they don't do on the WPT. It has been done when they did that Turning Stone tournament live. But they're always worried with that amount of money. I would be very surprised if they actually did show the hole cards live.
Well, I mean, obviously, if they do it, it's going to be on some sort of a tape delay.
Right.
It's very, very fair raise.
And I guess that delay, kind of like our show, it might make it up.
Right. Now, Dave has raised it up with Jack 10. Mike has called with 6-8 offsuit.
Chuck's in there with 7s.
Yeah, and Clint calls as well with 3s.
We should have bought more drink, huh?
And the flop, well, not a bad flop for the pre-flop raiser. I mean, he's got a pair with an open-ended straight draw, and if he bets it, he's going to take it down.
Checked around. Turns a queen.
130.
And now, so he checked the flop, and now he bets 130.
Now, what do you put him on? Now, remember, he raised pre-flop.
And look at this. Mike is going to call, and he's going to try to represent something here on the river. And the river's a spade, and that might be what he's going to try to represent. But Dave's got the straight.
Yeah.
And look at this. Dave checked, and Mike bet. And I think Dave is probably going to check call here.
Well, that's all he can do. There's 3 spades on the board. Mike could easily have spades.
8 high.
8 high. Again, Mike, he's looking at that board. He can represent the straight card with the open ender with a jack in his hand. He also can represent a spade.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you try to represent something, it's actually in your opponent's hand.
Yeah. It's one of the reasons why when you're playing against Mike or a player like Mike, sometimes it is correct to play it a little tricky. By just checking one time, he suddenly goes, wait a second, this guy didn't like the flop. Maybe I can take it away from him later on. Sure enough, Mike takes a shot at it. Good lesson that Mike gives everybody, by the way. If you're caught bluffing, say it proud, real proud, 8 high.
Borgie on 2+2 writes, that bald man leads a charmed life. I think talking about Mike. Never seen anyone turn rags into the nuts so consistently. That's true.
Yeah, he's been running real good lately.
Mike's going to raise it up here to 100 with 8-9 suited. And he's going to take it down.
Nobody called?
Now Kirk is in seat number 6 now. He's moved over there. Get position on Mike, and now Mike can really raise that blind every single time. He can actually raise on the button, he can raise in the cutoff seat and in the hijack seat, because he realizes that those players are somewhat tighter, and he can steal a button. And I don't know if there's anybody at this table who's going to play back at him now.
I think we had a long board, so we're probably going to be getting a new player pretty soon.
Yeah, we've got somebody coming in right now. Button moves over to seat number 7. That's Barry. Lee, seat number 1 is in the big blind. Chuck under the gun is actually going to limp in with pocket 5s going the speed limit.
The old speed limit. I don't know how many places are 55 that. Around here, some of the congested freeways.
Right.
$3
$60, actually $70 pot, 3 ways.
Yep.
Jack 7-4, Rainbow.
Chuck's got the best hand still with 5.
And if it checks to you, I think you got to bet, and I think Chuck's going to. Put a little feeler bet out there, see where you're at, and he takes it down.
I got it right here.
And we're going to see Dr. Allen coming into the game. Now, Dr. Allen actually got mixed up in a hand earlier before the show started. I watched him get mixed up in a hand with Mike, where Mike had Queen 3, and Mike actually had a full house. Dr. Allen obviously didn't believe him and gave him all his chips. But that's part of the mystique. But I was joking around with, after Mike took in the big pot, I was actually joking around. And I said, don't worry about Dr. Allen. He'll give all his money back. He's going to be broke by September. Button moves over to seat number 8, Moe's spot. Clint limps in, Barry limps in. And we're going to see this 3 ways. $70 pot again. Jack 8 deuce, Rainbow, misses everybody. And it checks around. Turns a 9, and now Barry's made ace 9. He's got second pair. Checks around to him, and he's going to put a bet in there. And that should be enough to take it down.
That's going to do it, Dave.
Kind of a strange makeup of this table right now without Adam in the game. You know, with no Jason Cacciatani and no Jonas. You've really got somewhat passive play, all kind of waiting for Mike.
Button moves over here to seat 1. Let me ask you a question. When you first moved out here to California and you had friends back at home,
Yes.
do you ever get disconnected and you get pissed at them because they'll never contact you back?
No,
No? Ever?
not really. I'm really lucky that I have a really good group of core friends here.
I
Look
thought
at
I
this
did.
passive table. They all just fold around to Mike. And finally, how funny is that? The big blind actually completed the straddle for an
Mike
extra
just
$20.
raised.
And Mike said, well, whatever. I'm
Yeah.
not going to let you do that. I'm going to throw in. And he actually had an
An ace
ace.
10. Yeah.
But I don't know if Mike needed anything. He said, you know what? If you're going to just give me $70, I'll take it. It was actually $90. 40 and the 10 there.
That's
Yeah,
kind
I
of
was
a
lucky I
random
was-
segue, huh?
Yeah, I was going to say, I was really lucky that a lot of my friends that from high school and college, it's kind of a group of 5 guys, we all keep in touch. We actually get together once a year
Right.
still. Like I
And
said, we
you just went to Vegas with
right.
them,
We all met in Vegas.
And everybody's married now, right? Pretty much.
Yeah, they're all married now. Old men,
Ace Queen offsuit here.
balding,
And
sad.
Barry Woods is just going to limp in here with the Ace Queen. And a raise here by Chuck with Ace 8 of clubs on the button. Mike's got King 6
Actually, Chuck's
offsuit.
got jacks.
Oh, he does.
Yeah,
Excuse
Dave
me,
had
it's
ace 8 and he
Yeah.
threw it away.
Well, Barry calls, and Mike calls and Barry calls. So here we go. It's about a $300 pot. Chuck with jacks, the pre-flop raiser. There's the ace. Now, Barry played the ace a little bit soft, ace-queen pre-flop. Let's see how he's going to play it now. Gets checked over to Barry. And he's going to come out and bet here. And the funny thing is, if I'm playing against Barry in this spot on the button, I don't buy that Barry has an ace unless he limped in with, like, say, something ace rag suited, because I don't normally see Barry limp in with a hand like ace queen.
Yeah,
He's normally raised,
Normally he does.
and Jack's immediately folds
And
and Mike's out of there.
the one thing good about Barry's game is he would bet a 10 there also. He'd bet
Right.
Jack 10. He'd bet 10-9 there. Barry takes it down. I'm not sure if he showed the queen or the ace.
I guess you didn't like, did you?
Button moves over to seat number 3.
I didn't. Break one hand. One hand, yeah.
An email here from Mike in Hillsboro, Oregon, talking about how he's going to be coming here on vacation. How do you get into the show? We've talked about this. Might actually be something else we could put up on the website too for the powers that be, about how to actually get on the show, because we
Right.
seem to get the email a lot. You know,
Very
you can
simple,
call the
obviously.
plaza.
Call the bike, ask for the plaza, ask for Mo, Bart, or Dave, and we'll get you on the board.
Yeah.
I gotta give you action since you haven't played a hand all night.
It could be like Lee actually can email us here at Live at the Bike as well. Now Mo has raised it with ace king, and Mike is called with ace 7 of hearts here. Wow, Mike's got the nut flush draw,
I'm gonna bet blind 160.
and Mike is going to bet.
And he
Actually,
says,
it went check, check, and Mike bet blind. He made the nut flush, but Mo's got the king of hearts, and he's going to raise him. Mo is raising Mike, and Mike has the pretty much almost the nuts here. The board is paired. He's got the nut flush. Wow.
so Mo has waited now an hour to play a hand, and he picks this spot. And look at this is classic Mike. Maybe I'll throw it away.
Can I ask you a question, though? You know that Mo is savvy enough to say raise on or check a set on the flop. Can he come back over the top? Well, the answer from Mike is yes, but he's going to re-raise.
12 more?
You know, Mo loves to slow play a set if he had 9s or 10s here.
And I don't know how deep Mo is, but I think it's an easy laydown, obviously.
Yeah, Mike's bald head is in the way of his chip stack. Oh, thanks, Mike. There it is. And Mo's going to get away from it.
Yeah. Now, Dr. Allen's actually going to move over to seat number 3. He's going to come into the game. And Dave is moving over to seat 9.
Button's going to move over here to Mike in seat 4.
I played it bad, huh? I should've
So the Dr. Allen's becoming somewhat of a regular on the show now.
Yeah, he seems to like it.
Ace 10 of hearts here for Lee in seat 1. And he's probably going to open raise here, 1 off the cutoff, or 2 off the cutoff. He does.
played it bad.
Seems like his
Raises
game's
up to
pretty
120.
solid, doesn't it?
I played it bad.
Mike is going to call here with 6-7 off suit.
King of hearts.
Mike loves to play in position.
Check.
Heads up here, pot's about $260.
Well, Mike's hit a pair, but there's a king out there. I mean, is Mike really going to continue on here? Lee's going to bet 300. I think Mike is going to get rid of this. I mean, I would be shocked. You know, again, though, what might be going through Mike's head now is that if he's behind, he could catch 2 pair. He could also represent a club or some sort of straight.
Well, that's what you start thinking about. You go, okay, what can I represent? And if this guy's hand's not that strong, what if he's got jacks?
Right.
He might give me a free card.
Turns a 10.
And look at this. Watch. Well, now Lee has actually made the best hand, and he's going to check it.
I was saying, you know, Mike could represent 9-10. He could represent clubs.
9-6.
Yep.
9-6 got there, obviously. And he's going to check. He's going to take the card. And there's the
Wow.
club. And that's a scary card, obviously. Lee's going to hope to keep it check if he can.
I think Lee's going to throw a little blockish bet out. He bets 300, Dave, into a pot that's like 1,200.
Weird bet, man. All I could beat is ace queen.
And that it looks like it's going to work. And look at that. Mike paid him off.
Yep. He said it's a weird
What?
bet.
That is a blocker bet there on the river.
Yeah, I don't think the pot was quite 1,200.
I know. I should have popped the flop.
That's what maybe it was a little less, maybe 1,000.
Well, I'm trying to think. The pot was the flop was 120 bet pre-flop, right? So it was like 270 or so pre-flop.
You're right. It was about a 900, 850.
Okay, yeah.
850. It looked like it was more there. In the
Still a very
pot.
smallish bet.
Yeah.
Sometimes Mike can kind of sniff that out and raise it, but you've got to be aware that somebody could be pricing you in with the nuts. He could have made a flush already.
Let's take a look at another chip count here. Over 35,000 on the table. Mike leading the table with 9,000. Let's take a look at the differences.
Surprise, surprise, Mike's up winning. He's the big winner. Lee in second place now, up 3,400. Making a nice showing here.
Look at this interesting happenings here. Lee has limped in with pocket queens. Mike is raised with king 10. The button has called with ace king. And Lee is just going to call. He does not pull the limp re-raise with queens here.
And I don't mind that play when Clint calls.
And Lee's top set here for Lee.
Welcome to Live at the Bank, Lee. Hope you're enjoying yourself.
Would you check it once to Mike here if he's the pre-flop raiser? He's going to bet. That's 400. I mean, the other thing, too, is you got to start thinking, when you do have top set like that, there's probably a very good chance that Mike doesn't have a big piece of it because, I mean, there's only one queen left, right?
No, definitely. By betting, though, you're giving Mike the chance to raise you.
And again, it's kind of that reverse thing because Mike might think, why would this guy ever bet with a big hand? Because he knows I'm going to bet if I check, so why wouldn't he check raise me?
Exactly. Most people do think that way.
Yeah.
And you got to give Lee credit. I mean, he's now bet with nothing when he had ace 10, and he also bets with a set of queens. Makes it tough for somebody to kind of put a read on him.
Pocket kings over here for seat number 9. That's Dave.
And I think part of the danger, part of the problem playing against Mike, a lot of players give Mike too many free cards by checking to him, assuming he's going to bet.
$60 raise here. And look at this. We've got 5s, 3s, kings, and 9s.
And if you're kings here,
is Dave going to re-raise? He just calls. He's just going to smooth call with kings here.
Wow. Well,
is this going to be another Mo X type of situation? Somebody might hit a set. 5-way action here. Wow. Ace, jack, ace. A horrible flop for everybody. Mo's got a naked club draw here with deuce 3 of clubs.
And he's going to bet it.
Really?
He's going to bet right into the field. He doesn't think anybody's got an ace. He wants to find out if anybody does have an ace.
And Dave has played king slow. How can you possibly continue with 5 people behind you now?
That's the problem. You have 5 people behind you. And you know what? I have no problem with the way he played it. I really don't.
Really? Not no re-raising pre-flop?
Well, I don't mind it. He's playing it slow. If he hits a monster, he's going to get paid off to the tilt. You know? That's the way he was probably thinking about it. He goes, you know what? Let me see if I can play it slow. If you're going to play it slow, at least get rid of it.
And Mo's going to take it down there. Barry's going to muck 5s, it looks like.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with slow playing a hand. Playing it kind of slow.
But you would never do that with aces, would you?
You might. There's nothing wrong with it as long as you can get rid of it.
No, I think there's definitely something wrong with it, especially with the aces, because, again, you are never going to hit a set. If you hit a set, you'll never get paid off. The chances are someone else is not going to have an ace.
Right. In all likelihood,
kings. I think you can do it with queens, Dave, but I think aces and kings, especially with dead money in there, it's a big mistake. Kings are a hand that I actually can build a pot up out of position because it's so good. Queens and jacks, we talked about that the last couple of days.
No, I definitely agree with you. I'm just, if you're going to ever mix up your play once in a while, it's not a terrible thing to do. Obviously, 90% of the time, probably even 95% of the time, you're going to raise that with pocket kings and pocket aces. But if you're ever not going to, you got to realize that if the flop comes out, say king 5-3 or something like that, and somebody else makes 2 pair, there's no way in a million years they put you on a set of kings. No way.
Well, Mike's going to raise it up here with ace-9. Now, Lee's got ace-jack here.
I mean, I definitely raise it 95% of the time, too. But let's hand it to Dave. At least he threw it away once the flop came out and he didn't like it.
3-way action here. Mike, the pre-flop raiser.
Well, Mike and Lee both hit their kicker.
Not a great flop for ace-jack. Lee might put a little bit of an information bet out here. He's going to bet 130. And again, sometimes the problem when you bet this type of board is it's an information bet here with a red ace-jack, but if you get called, you just don't know what someone is calling you with.
I guess you could say it's an informational bet, but in the sense of I'm not sure what information you get if somebody calls
on this board,
you.
right? Yeah.
Guy calling you with a jack, a queen, a 10, a clubs, who knows? In this case, Mike's got a 9.
And again, you talk about Mike here. I mean, this is a huge, huge board that he can represent all kinds of things here in position against Lee.
See, the only problem is if sometimes he's trying to represent hands, you don't know if your opponent is betting that draw.
Well, there's the club.
Right, now is he going to represent clubs, or maybe was Lee betting clubs?
Lee's going to bet 400 here.
And Lee really puts Mike on the, kind of puts him on his heels here because he doesn't know, is Lee trying to represent clubs?
Looks like we're about halfway through the show here, Dave. Got an hour and a half left this week at Live at the Bike.
I mean, I caution people when you say that I would always do something or I would always do this. I don't think there's anything I would always do.
No. I'm just saying that.
I'll leave it out there that there might be a time 6 people limp and I have pocket aces and I just take the flop.
I don't, I know you're saying you're not going to always do anything, but it's almost in that specific case with aces that, remember, you're trying to hit a set, but in that inherent case with the set, you're not going to get paid off because someone else probably doesn't have an ace. The ace is the premium scare part. I mean, the value.
You never know. The flop could come out 8. What if the flop comes out ace 7 8?
Yeah, but
what if the flop comes out ace 7 8 and somebody's got 2 pair? Are they going to put me on a set of aces? Of course not. No way. Not in a million years would I have a set of aces. Since they have 2 pair, they probably put me on a big ace and I get paid off huge. You never know.
Barry's going to raise it here with 6 deuce offsuit. Mike calls with Jack 5 and Mike's hit trip jacks. He checks.
Why is Barry raising with such crap hands?
And Barry's going to bet. Let's see how Mike's going to play it. Barry bets 200.
And if it's ever possible, somebody is drawing dead. Barry is drawing completely dead on the flop.
Look at this. Mike is going to min check raise. And I hope Barry doesn't push back thinking Mike's just trying to make a move on him. I mean, he could get more involved by calling to try and set up some sort of play here on the turn.
I don't understand exactly what the strategy is that Barry has now at this point. Raising in position with a hand as weak as 6 deuce. I understand raising in position, but I want my cards to have somewhat of connection. 6 deuce offsuit.
You want to know the sick thing? Because I had a jack.
Button moves over here to seat 9. Pocket kings here for Mo in the cutoff in seat 8. And this is Mike. This is one of Mike's favorite hands. He's got Jack Deuce of diamonds.
And he actually said it. This is my favorite hand.
Yeah. He loves to play Jack Deuce. Barry's going to call, and Mo is going to probably make this at least, I would say, 400.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Let's see how much more he's going to make it.
Now, how much does Mike like this
Well, he's
hand?
going to make it 200 more. Mo has played this as tight as Kirk has tonight.
You guys want to know what Mo has? Mo's got ace 9.
Good read there, Mike.
It's amazing, isn't it, Dave?
Yeah, he's so on par. I mean, it's amazing how good he is.
Hey, Mo, how much you give me if I call your hand?
You call my hand?
Yeah.
Okay. What?
Ace 9 or ace 10?
Okay. How much? 50-50?
I'll bet you 20.
20 to what? 100? Ace 9?
Ace 9 or ace 10?
Give me.
Gimme.
I'll take the free $20.
Hey, who wouldn't?
That's why
This is the
you
second
got 380 and you said 280. You said I don't want to raise too much.
Again, you can take a look at that horseshoe that Barry gave Mike.
So I was actually kind of, I was excited about watching England's first game tomorrow versus Paraguay. And at first I thought it was 9 a.m. and I was like, oh, 9 a.m., perfect,
No, it's
okay.
6 a.m.
Then I realized, 6 a.m. Pacific time. I'm going, oh man, that's early. That's real early. I mean, that might be too early to even go to the pub. And the pub is
Pub's
open.
going to open,
The pub will be open.
but you're probably just going to be watching it at home.
I don't know. I mean, I really want to go, but 6 in the morning is early. Especially since I'm playing tonight.
Limped around here.
5 players.
5-way action.
Could be that predictable.
It is a straddled spot, by the way. So it's $200.
Queen Jack 4 here. Well, Mo's got Jack 10. Looks to be the best hand right now.
It is, you're right. And he's going to bet it.
Going to come out and bet here.
Well, there's only one player behind him. Everybody else checked. Why not take a shot at it? And more and more with Mike's game, he is making kind of like mindless bluffs less often. I mean, let's count how many mindless bluffs tonight. I mean, I'm talking about bluffs with no real draw. I mean, the 8-6 was the only one, right? So far, we're 8 high. I mean, I'm trying to think of another bluff that he's had tonight. He's not really bluffing that much. It's funny, I was talking to Jonas about this, and I actually talked to Mike about this a while ago when we went to the Laker game. The night you do the show by yourself, and I was lucky enough to go.
Yeah, you won the
And,
coin toss.
yeah.
Lucky bastard.
And I was talking to Mike about it, and he was like, we were both agreeing. I was like, man, you don't have to bluff for 6 months, and you could live off that image that you've created. And he's like, you're right, totally.
Dr. Allen's got ace-king suited here. And he's going to raise it up on the big blind here. Barry limped in with queen 10 off suit. Is he going to call here to Dr. Allen's raise with this big-time trap hand? He calls. He does have position. Lee's not going to play queen 5. Chuck is out of there with ace 5. Well, in this case, Barry is not dominated.
Lucky for him.
King 4-6 here. Well, let's hit top pair.
And now he's almost drawing dead. I mean, he's just in terrible shape. Needs running queens or running 10s or some sort of running straight cards. Look at the percentages. 96-4.
And going to take it down. You know, I wanted to segue into continuing the discussion about British food that we started last night. And some of the thing actually that bothers me, I love Heinz baked beans, which is a ketchup-based English baked beans.
Right.
In this country, all the baked beans are molasses, like B&M and Bush's. And it's really difficult to find. But classic English beans on toast is that ketchup-based beans.
That's
And
another food, by the way, I like.
And
Beans on toast.
I was talking to you about English breakfast blood sausage, and I don't think you've ever had it because it's actual blood black pudding. I'm showing you a picture here on Wikipedia.
Yeah, I've never had that. I don't really have any desire. I'm going to pass. Thank you for trying, though. Pocket jacks here for Kirk.
Ace king here for Mike in the small blind. Well, now Kirk makes it 120 under the gun. Now, this is where Mike, he's a better player. He should adjust to this raise. I don't think you re-raise Kirk here. Let's see what he's going to do. He just calls. Now, again, we talk about the inherent value or the inherent overvalue based king. He's not going to win a huge pot here. Well, he's got the nut flush draw here.
He's got the ace of hearts now. He is actually a favorite. He has no pair, but he is a favorite on this flop with overcards and the nut flush draw.
And if he leads out, what does Kirk do here with jacks?
With 2 black jacks?
He's gonna raise. Make it 300, and Mike calls. Mike, best card for him would be a king. Turns an 8.
And now Mike is behind.
Mike checks, and Kirk is going to continue to lead big here. That's 800. The problem here is you don't know how big Kirk's overpair is.
It's a 2-to-1 dog. He's a 2-to-1 dog here.
Take back 4, I'll call. I swear. I'm probably having a bad shape. Wow.
And he took back 4. He took back 4, and Mike called. And the river's a 5, but he totally missed.
Damn, man.
Wow. Kirk threw an $800 bet out. Mike said, if you take back 4, I'll call, and he did. And I'm telling you, it's the best card for Mike, and I think he's good enough.
King
They
of
said
clubs?
King of spades comes.
The king of
He's
spades,
got
right.
the king of clubs in his hand. And he bets out. And I think Kirk calls him
I had 15 ounce. You had 4. I got 4.
on the river.
Yeah.
I had 15 ounce. Actually, it was a good play. You're 70-30 favorite on the turn. But I gamble with you. Thank you. Any ace, any king. Any
Yeah, that's the one thing about Mike's game. You know, a lot of times people will look at him just kind of as like this lucky, you know, horseshoe up your ass, just laggy, kind of a stupid guy, you know. He's obviously not stupid. He's very smart. He knows what's going on. He's very good at reading players. Button is in Mike's spot right now. A couple of limps there.
Oh, this is a great email here by Ryan
Okay.
from Tucson.
Pocket jacks now. Chuck is actually limped in late position with 2 jacks. And he's going to see a flop for cheap here. $100 now to the flop. 5 players. Ace, King, 5. Not a real good flop for jacks, huh? And Lee's got the best hand here with Ace, 9. Put a little bet out there, see where he's at.
And he's going to take it down. So Ryan from Tucson says that he's going to go out on a limb and say that the U.S. will win Group E. He thinks it's Italy and the Czechs are banged up. His final 4 for the World Cup are Holland, the USA, Portugal, and Sweden. You know, I'm a huge American fan. I think that is a long
Switzerland,
shot, though.
Switzerland.
Oh, in Switzerland. But the great part of this email is, Dave, on Sunday, the possibility of a men's French final, or actually it is the final, of Federer and Nadal on red clay in the French Open. All I can say is, go Federer. I want Federer to just kill that Spaniard dirtball Nadal who can never win on any other surface. That clay court special. Crap.
Yeah, I have very little to say about tennis. Pocket jacks again at this table.
Yeah, Lee's going to raise it up here with jacks.
Going around here. And nobody's going to give Lee action.
God, I hate that guy.
You know, you
Nadal.
talk about a table image, and you see Lee's table image here. He's already up $4,000. He hasn't lost a pot yet. And when you have an image like that, you know, suddenly people aren't calling your pre-flop raises. You look at somebody like Barry, his image.
Yeah.
People are kind of like swarming like at him, like as if he was like a dead carcass.
Bunch of vultures.
Exactly. Well, we're poker players. Not far from that, are we? So this guy, I mean, I
If
actually.
anybody knows what I'm talking about, Nadal reminds me a lot about Thomas Muster from about 1997, 1998. The guy could only win on clay and no other court surface.
I mean, he's won like 60 straight on clay. Leave the guy alone.
It's red clay. Such a joke. Queen's here for seat 2.
It's amazing how passionate Bartz gets about tennis.
He's going to raise it up here to 120. Mike is going to call with king 4, and Clint's in there with 5s. But a $380 pot 3 ways. Oh, ace 7-9 here.
Not a good flop for Queens, but he's in the lead, and he's going to put a little continuation
That's
bet out there.
gonna do it.
Yeah.
Now,
Interesting, he picks Holland, USA, Portugal, and Switzerland. I've heard a lot of experts picking Holland and Switzerland.
now Holland has never won a World Cup, and everyone always says, you know, they've really. Now, I've really listened to some experts and stuff, and I was actually talking about to Paul, the seasoned, you know, turkey of the show, last night on the 510 table. And he was saying that Germany always seems to pull it out some way, and I don't really have that big of a comment on this, but maybe some other people can comment in. He thinks
Chime
that
in.
Germany is not as good or is never as good as the top 5 teams, but they just somehow squeak it out. Like they're not as good as Brazil, the Netherlands, even France and England. They're
Part of
just-
playing the game is knowing how to win, though.
yeah.
So this guy, he actually picks USA as one of the final 4.
Well, the problem with that though is that, I mean, the problem with that,
You got to be kidding me. Come on.
we got to raise here to 120. I mean, to actually look at that as a realistic pick, the problem is if the USA is actually going to go deep, and what I mean by that is say make the quarterfinals like they did last year, they have to win the group. They have to win Group E because if they finish in second place, they're going to play Brazil in the second round. The second place of Group E.
They're
plays
not
the
even going
first.
to get out of their group.
Oh man, you have no faith.
I'm a realist. They're not going to get out of their group.
I mean, I put it probably the chances that are about 2 to 2.5 to 1. I think 1 chance and maybe 3.
It's not a poker odds question.
But you sound like it's like, oh man, I mean, you think the chances that they get out of the group are like less than 10%, right?
I don't think there's any chance.
See, that's what I mean.
0. They're not getting out.
I will be rooting against England with a vigor tomorrow morning. Go Paraguay.
You know what? Not only will I rooting against USA, I'm going to root for Nadal. Cocksucker.
Mike is going to raise. Barry calls. I think, does C2 have aces here? We need to see Chuck's hand. Come on, Chuck. Chuck has got 2 aces, and he's going to re-raise. Raise by Mike, call by Barry, and a re-raise here by Chuck.
And I like the re-raise.
And Mike is going to call, and he is horribly dominating.
That's why I like the raise. Oftentimes, Mike will make some questionable calls pre-flop to try to hit a monster.
Is he going to get involved here if he flops a dry queen? Well, pretty safe flop for Mike not to get involved with.
And you
Clint's
know
not
you're running
in the
good
hands.
when you don't catch a queen there. I mean, that's just lucky.
Chuck is going to bet 600. Now, you know, like I said, my afternoon session yesterday was pretty bad. But actually, I went out and played for about an hour of 3-handed 5-10 with seat 5, Clint, and another guy that just basically went on tilt, and it was great. Made back all the money I had in about a half an hour. It just takes one guy. I mean, I picked up some big hands, 3-handed, like aces and kings. I would just push all in, the guy would call.
Well, that's the
You
funny
know.
thing. In No Limit Hold'em, oftentimes games are built around one guy or 2 guys.
Yeah.
You don't need 6 bad players in a game to make it a good game. We always talk about picking your targets, picking your opponents. You can do that in No Limit Hold'em. And if you're sitting down at a table and you don't want to play against seat 4, you don't want to play against seat 2, you don't want to play against seat 1, you go, you know what though? Seat 8, that's the guy I want to get.
70 is the bet. C570.
Button moves over here to seat 9.
I tell you, I don't get any credit on 2+2.
Clint raises here with 17 of clubs. Barry's called him with 9-6 of clubs. And look at this, everyone's pretty much sharing the same card.
So they're probably not going to get a straight flush. Nope, surprise, surprise, they both flop
two club draws. 2 club draws here.
Yeah, and Clint's in terrible shape, obviously.
And Clint was the pre-flop raiser, so he's probably going to bet out as a semi-bluff with a couple of high cards out there.
Oh, why not? And Barry will probably just call. Is there any way Barry raises with a draw here?
$220 bet here. You know, again, Barry kind of has a dryish club draw, but he is in position. He's going to make the call. And I think that Clint might get into some real trouble if the club comes here, because I think he might put Barry maybe on an ace or a queen. Well, the turn's a deuce.
And is Clint going to continue betting here? And what is Barry going to do now? Is there any way you'd raise him here? Wow, it's a big bet.
You could fold here, right? Now
Oh,
it's a pair
definitely.
board.
You can definitely fold this. Although I'm not really scared of the deuce, but yes.
No, but I mean, the guy could, you know, he could have ace king.
Hey, the guy could have a set of queens.
Yeah.
You're
Nice
right.
hand there for Barry.
Now I'm looking at this post by Borgia. Go back. He says, paid off to the tilt, quote unquote, unintentionally brilliant Tuckman quote. Why is it unintentional? You don't think I intended that? I get no credit on 2+2, I swear. Unbelievable.
Are you really going to root for Nadal?
You're right, Federer. It's so exciting. He just wins every other thing.
Plays
I'm not gonna. You
he
think
plays
I'm gonna?
real tennis.
You really think I'm gonna watch tennis? When is this match?
Sunday. French Open, man.
I'll find something to do.
Joke of the Grand Slam tennis tournament.
I will find something else to do besides watch that.
Live straddle here by Mike.
Players.
4-way action here. A lot of low cards. No Broadway in anyone's hand. Well, ace 5-7 here.
A couple of players have sevens.
Barry and Dr. Allen. Barry's probably going to bet this one. He's in position. I would bet here. He's got second pair. No pre-flop raise. Good chance your seven's the best hand, and it is. He's going to bet 150. I'm sure Dr. Allen's not going to get involved with a check call here with 7 deuce from up front. Yeah. Mike's got a wheel draw. He folds. Barry takes it down. You know, we've talked about confidence and how Barry, you know, has not been running well over the last month or two. He was really killing the games last year, but now kind of a variential hit, and he likes to get mixed up with Mike, and obviously there can be some sort of direct correlation to the fact that Mike has gotten better. So Barry has actually lost more because Barry loves to play hands with Mike.
Yeah.
You know, kind of like if you looked at a graph.
Well, Barry's
directly
swings are going to be bigger than most.
related.
Barry's swings are going to be bigger than, say, you or I because he plays so many hands. Now, obviously, he's playing less than he normally would, but he's
Yeah.
still mixing it up with some real questionable hands. I mean, deuce 6, we saw him in there with jack 8, 8-6, 8-5.
Raise.
Limp and a raise here by Lee with ace 9 of diamonds.
Really haven't hit a flop yet. I'm not sure I'm going to call you.
Chuck is going to call. Chuck's got pocket 7.
Four players.
4-way action. Mike comes in there with 5-6. And Barry's called, and he's dominated with the 9. Here we go. Well, ace 4 jack here. Now Barry has got the second nut flush draw. Lee has hit top pair. Now Barry's not going to bet the flush draw.
This is one of those hands also where
300.
you've got queen 9, but is there any value to this flush draw? If you hit the flush, are you going to make any money out of it?
Well, here's the other problem, too, when you raise with ace 9. I don't think you want to put any more money in the pot here. Now, Barry did check call. You're probably fairly certain you have the best hand. You might bet one more time and take a showdown on the river.
I have to bet one more time because I don't want to give him a free
Well, it
card.
goes check, check, and the river's a king.
You know, just in case my opponent had queen 10, had clubs. I don't want to give him a free draw. I really
Now, is
don't.
Barry going to bluff out at it here? I mean, that guy checked with the intention of controlling pot size, and he's probably going to call, and Barry just gives up. Barry gives up there.
And you've got to realize that when you're calling with a draw like Queen 9 of clubs there,
Yeah.
if the club comes, how much money are you really going to make against a good player? I mean, are they really going to be shocked when you turn over the flush?
Yeah, email here from Jeff Malawai, and he said, there's no way you're going to win a big pot by limping in with ace-ace unless you hit set over set. In your example of ace-8 on an ace-7-8 board, you know, the guy might be scared of a set of sevens.
Okay. No, I mean, I know, obviously, I'm not limping in with aces and I'm not limping in with kings.
Well, it's not.
You played with me for numerous
right,
hours.
You're limping with the intention of limp re-raising.
No, I'm not even. But we're talking about Dave's play there.
He just called the raise in the blind with kings like
99% of the time, I'm not doing that. But if you were to say it's an ultimatum and I'm always going to do something, no, I'm not always going to do something. There might be one time I don't.
Dr. Allen raises here with ace-queen. We're not trying to tag that on to you, Tuckman. You know that.
No, what I'm trying to point out, that I was trying to defend Dave in the sense that, okay, he decided to limp in with the kings. Okay. Probably not a play that you or I would do on a normal basis, but at least he got rid of it.
Well, my specific issue with aces, though, again, is the fact that a lot of times when you play a pocket pair to hit a set like queens or kings, or specifically queens, you can make money against a guy who has top pair. But if you have aces and you hit a set, no one's going to necessarily have top pair. So I don't know how much money you can ever make unless somebody else hits a set as well. And that's
or unless somebody has two pair.
Yeah, two pair, but again, it's a limped pot. And in this case, it would be bottom two pair.
You're right. We never see anybody go broke with bottom two pair in this game. Yeah, I'll make you a deal. Give me a set of aces in an unraised pot and give Barry Woods 8-7. Okay? Let's see if he goes broke. Come on. I'll do it with Mike, too. Give Mike bottom two pair. You don't think he's going to go to? You don't think he's going to give me all? You don't think he's going to double me up?
Now Mike raised it here,
kidding
flop
me?
on C4. Actually, it was Dave that raised with pocket deuces. Raised it about 100. 10-7-5 here with a couple diamonds on board. Remember, Dave was the pre-flop raiser. He checks now. And Mike takes the card. Checked around. Turns another 10, and now Shock in C2. He's going to put some money out here with eights.
Yeah, why not?
Surprised he didn't actually bet there one off the button when the pre-flop raiser didn't bet. And now, seat number 9 is going to bet with deuces. And Chuck is just going to fold.
Wow. Nice bet by Dave. It really is. He figures, you know what? Nobody else wants this pot. I'll take it.
Yeah.
Now, I'm just going to say one last thing about this, and I'm going to leave it to rest. I don't think I've ever actually done what Dave did. And I'm pretty sure you've never done that either.
Yeah.
But having said that, I think if you were to do that, say, 1 out of 100 times, or even 3 out of 100 times, I don't think it's the worst thing in the world.
Okay.
As long as you can get away from it, if you don't hit something big.
Again, you know, kings are different than aces. I just don't understand. I think you just lose so much
Right.
by not doing it with aces because,
Of course.
there's got to be so many things that have to happen for you to win a big pot in a pot that's linked around pre-flop with aces.
I mean, there's
It's got
got
to be almost set over set.
There's got to be a lot of things that go right for you to win a lot of money with aces, even in a raised pot,
Right.
because it's only one pair. But I mean, you got to realize that. I'm just gonna throw one hand at you. Let's say you limp it. Let's say not limp it. Let's say you call 4 people's raises
In the blinds
with
aces.
pocket kings.
Okay.
Or aces. I don't care either way.
Yeah.
And the flop comes out ace 5-4 or ace 7-8, and Corporation Mike has bottom 2 pair. Is he ever going to put you on a set of aces or a set of kings?
No. I mean,
No way.
it's
He is going to
disguise.
double you up. Guaranteed. He is going to double you up.
It's a play I make sometimes.
Limped around here.
Somebody hits an ace, they never put me on ace king, they pay me the
Mike's got the That's Allen hand. 6-3 of hearts.
See?
Ace 7 deuce rainbow here. Looks like pocket fives might be the best hand.
Jack of spades on the turn. Changes nothing.
Fives
Chuck's
are
still in the lead here, yeah. Fives are going to win this if he ever puts money in the pot. And he puts money in the pot and he'll take this down, I'm pretty sure, unless Mike makes a move. Mike thinking about making a move.
Well, again, you know, you think about what can I represent? Could I represent that I picked up a spade draw? He's going to raise right now.
Yeah, he just thinks he thinks Chuck's weak.
Yeah, and there it is.
And you know what he goes, you know what? This guy's weak, I'm just going to take it.
No stealing around here. I'm the poker police.
And once again, he shows the bluff.
Right, and Mike's saying, he already said there, no stealing, I'm the poker police.
Yeah.
And obviously, you've also got to realize that if you ever do, let's say 1 out of 100 times, just smooth call the raise with the aces or kings, and you show that later on, talk about the advertising. These players will suddenly never understand what you're talking about.
Now, you might be rooting for Nadal just to piss me off, but you're really not going to root against the U.S.
No, I'm not. Of course not.
I mean, but you would rather see England win than the U.S. win.
I'm a realist. I'm rooting for the U.S. I don't think they have a chance. I think Italy is better, and I think
I mean, are you
Czechoslovakia
going to
is
be
better.
as excited about the United States? Let me just say this. Let's say it happened in 2002. The U.S. had a pretty big upset. They beat Portugal. Let's say on Monday they beat the Czech Republic. Are
I'll
you
be
going to
thrilled.
now become excited and really watch that Italian game with vigor?
I'm
the
still
next
going to
day?
watch the Italian games. I love the soccer. I love it.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm going to watch it no
But
matter
I mean,
what.
you'll be pumped up though, right? If they beat the Czech
Yeah,
Republic.
sure.
Mo's going to raise it here to 200.
I'm patriotic. I'm very pro-U.S., okay?
Dr. Allen.
It's not like I'm sitting here an anti-U.S. person. No.
So Dr. Allen has called here with 4 or 5 of diamonds. We've had this discussion many times when you call a blind raiser in position, what you might represent. Well, Mo's hit ace king. Now, Dr. Allen's got a gut shot to the 6, backdoor diamonds. I'm sure he's not going to get involved here. Mo bets 400.
His hand's over.
But again, though, you see that Mo has raised here with ace queen. So, you know, if you think you're going to move Mo off of an ace, is Dr. Allen going to make a move?
You know, it's amazing, though. Mo plays, 3 hands in a span of an hour and a half, and they still think he's making a move.
But now, though, Mo knows Dr. Allen is somewhat of a solid player. If Dr. Allen raises here, how do you continue with ace queen? What do you do, smooth call one time? And he is going to raise with a simple gut shot draw to the 6. He makes it 700 more, and I wouldn't be surprised if Mo lays. I can't see how much Dr. Allen has left.
How much does Mo have left?
See, look at this. Getting word that Dr. Allen's got 1,300 left. Mo has him covered, and Mo said, you flop set, right? I really wouldn't be surprised to see if Mo lays this down.
You lose an ace because Mike is going to ace, right?
You know, it's funny. Mo doesn't make very big laydowns. He likes to call people down.
Well, again, what's going through Mo's head here, and we talk about it in the bigger game, is the fact that Dr. Allen could have limped in with a big pocket pair like aces or kings here, hoping that Mike raised. That's another thing you can't beat here with ace queen.
Of course. You also can't beat 7-8 suited.
You wouldn't figure that Dr. Allen's going to just raise here with king queen, a hand that you can beat. This is the power of position.
I mean, would Dr. Allen make a move here with 9-10? And
look at that, Mo
Mo
lays it
throws it
down.
away, and he doesn't
again-
want to get involved.
Yeah.
Guaranteed 2 aces?
Turns an ace, and the river was a...
Dr. Allen showed the bluff. He showed the bluff.
I'm not sure why you show that bluff for Dr. Allen. I know Dr. Allen watched the show.
I didn't want it to be against Mo, though.
You know, I just don't see much value in showing that raise if you're Dr. Allen. I'd rather the table think I'm really tight. I'd rather the table think I never make a move.
Email here from Carl Choice, and I hear this more and more from the soccer analysts. They're saying that Italy has actually got one of the weakest teams that they've ever sent to the World Cup.
Hey, don't overlook Gagne. They are
They're
tough.
off. Well, they're off. You know,
They
I know
are.
you're saying that to be an ass.
No, they are
But
tough.
the African teams are sometimes there's always a wild card. One of those teams will advance.
Gagne is a tough team, very physical
Ghana.
team.
Ghana.
Gagne. Jesus. Nadal,
Not to be
French.
confused with French Guiana, which is in South America. Mike is going to raise it up here with King 9. And Barry, did Barry re-raise with Jack 10 here? Or heads up between Mike and Barry.
Ronnie, I want to tell
And
you,
Barry has flopped the Broadway nut here with Jack 10, 7, 8, 9. He's got the nut straight, and Mike's got top pair, and a lot of money could go in here. If Barry bets here, a lot of money can go in. And I couldn't tell if Barry was the pre-flop re-raiser. I don't know if someone can tell me out on the floor. Barry's going to bet here. Bets 250. Kind of a little call me bet, and Mike is going to raise.
Could have just called.
And again, did Barry re-raise pre-flop?
would you ever just call this here? Would you ever just call this here if you're Barry? Now Mike has raised it how much more?
Looks like it's about 300,
300 more.
Yeah.
So the pot is quickly.
And Barry smooth calls.
I don't mind that play at all. The pot is quickly $1,200. Turn is a 3, changes nothing. And Mike's going to have to continue betting here, isn't he?
Yeah, you're right.
Power of position.
$1,200 or $1,300 pot here. He check raised him. Barry called. Barry's got the nuts. And Mike is going to bet 6. Now, if you're Barry, I think you put a little raise in. You might make it 12 or 15.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well,
I'd probably just smooth call.
You're both deep, though. How much money? I mean, don't you want to win the most amount of money?
Yeah, Mike could have nothing, though.
Well, you might also have clubs.
I probably smooth call this. I'm
Really?
telling you.
I
I probably do.
I think I make it 12 or 15 here.
Okay. Well, it seems like we're agreeing on nothing tonight, so that's just par for the course.
Do you mind making it 12 or 15? Not a terrible play then, right?
Oh, it's fine. It's fine.
And he is going to raise. He makes it 12, a min raise. That is the play I would have done.
Okay.
And this pot now.
And I think Mike folds.
This pot now is about $3,000, $600 for Mike to call.
Real strength to bet.
And now he's min raised, David. That's a very connected board. It's almost like Barry isn't scared of anything. And he's not really scared.
Remember how strong Barry's played his hand now? There's a bet, a check raise, a call, and then a raise in the turn. That's real strength. And I mean, I'm surprised Mike's calling that.
And
really
Mike calls, and Barry's built himself a pot over $3,600 now. Hopefully a club doesn't come to kill the action. Well, the river's a jack. Mike checks, and Barry moves all in. And the funny thing here is that because the jack comes...
Jack hit, then you went all in? Yeah.
I mean, could Mike think that Barry was bluffing on missed clubs or just trying to use the jack as a scare card with the 10? I mean, that is a funny river card there. And Mike calls.
Wow.
And
I'm
Barry's
amazed.
going to double through there.
I got to tell you, you know what? I got to hand it to you, Bart. You're right.
I think that the jack
That was
really screwed Mike because I think that he wouldn't think that Barry would bet with an overpair with a one-liner to a straight at the end. But Barry already had the straight. Do you see what I'm saying? And I think that Mike thought maybe Barry's bluffing here, trying to use it as a scare card.
I can't believe how badly Mike played that hand. I really cannot believe how badly Mike played that hand.
And by Barry raising the turn, gets more money in there, and he doubles through.
You're
Mike.
right. Hey, you know what? I got to hand it to you, Bart. Tonight is like the night of our disagreement, but I got to give it to you. That was a raise on the turn. Obviously, it was the right play. I really thought when Barry raised the turn, I thought it would get Mike off the hand. I really did. And if he had played it the way I had said it, he definitely would not have made as much because what would have happened would call the 600. Mike might have bet 800 or 600 on the river, might have even checked it and folded. Who knows?
Again, I think the jack on the river made Mike call because you don't think that Barry's going to bet an overpair or one pair with a one-liner
He
up there at
wouldn't.
the end.
No, he's only going to bet a straight there.
So that's why.
A straight or nothing.
And
A straight or nothing.
I think that's what Mike called because he said it's either he already had a straight
Or he's got nothing
or
at
he
all.
had nothing, or he's betting some sort of bust, and he called.
Yeah, and man.
So it's funny.
How
Sometimes.
big was that pot when it's all said and done, though?
Well, Barry moved in for an additional, I think, maybe $3,000, maybe $7,000, $8,000, $9,000 there. Wow, what a hand!
Well, we'll get a total of what Barry's got in front of him because whatever he's got in front of him, that was the pot size. Wow, huge pot.
I mean, Mike is down to maybe $3,000 or $4,000 now. I think that might have been a $10,000 pot.
Because the player is complaining. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Queen 8-8 there.
I sure have gone cold fast.
Chuck puts a little bet out there, puts a $100 bet out there with Queen Jack. Barry's going to call him with Jack 7. What is he doing? Actually, Barry bet. I apologize. Barry actually bet that. And Chuck called. Am I right? No, it was Chuck who bet that hand. I don't understand exactly what Barry's calling. Jack 7?
Got a gut shot? $250 bet there. Looks like Barry's got about 7,000 or 8,000 in front of him. So
big pot there. You know, hand it to me. Played that hand well.
Yeah.
Almost had one now. Yeah. I needed a 10. Good shot. Yes.
Great email from Ben Powell. He says USA has a 42.23% chance of advancing into round of 16. Classic. Once again, for the record, I am very pro-USA.
Should have said I flopped the nuts, Mike. That's why I raised you. You know, give me a little info. Yeah, I was sort of proud of myself. You know, come over and pat me on the back. I'll do something to your back.
The floods of emails are coming into the Federer versus Nadal. I guess Bart will be engrossed in those.
Yeah.
Ace-king here for Dr. Allen. He's going to raise it in first position. And he's going to make it $120. And I got to tell you, not many hands I'm going to call Dr. Allen with when he raises in first position. Those are things you've got to notice. Not only is it who is raising, but where is he raising. And he's going to take this down without a flop. Button moves over to seat 9.
Email here by John. He says,
Actually, seat 1, sorry.
Nadal has actually won some hardcore tournaments, namely in Dubai, where he actually won against Federer. I think the best match I've ever seen was the one Nadal against Agassi last year. Bart loved the commentary, but I've got to go against you on this one. I think Nadal is good for the game. This match is going to be one to watch.
I mean, hasn't Nadal beaten Federer like 4 out of the last 5 times they matched up?
I think someone said it was 5-1, but they've only played in hard court 3 times, something like that.
Okay, well,
I mean, anybody disagree that pure tennis is played on hard courts with a pure bounce, not sliding around on dirt and sand, getting these weird bounces. And I'm a big grass court fan too, but that's not a pure bounce either. Those things skid. I mean, I think hard court is the purest tennis. Maybe that's the Southern Californian bias in me.
Yeah, that's Southern California bias. You're from Massachusetts. It's driving me friggin' insane tonight, I swear to God. Ronnie, this is my last night.
Clint raised here with ace-queen. Gonna bet the flop.
My Southern California bias?
Yeah, email here from Michael Napick, and I heard about this too. Supposedly Washington State has now enacted a law that makes online gambling a Class 3 felony. Now, I think the point of the law enforcement said that they're not necessarily going to go after individual people that play, but they obviously can if they want to.
It's unbelievable.
Although you can bet on the horses. You can bet on the ponies.
It's got to be one of the most... I mean, you realize why the law went through. You realize it was some Indian casino that kind of pushed it through with lobbyists and everything. So ridiculous. Yeah, let's go after some guy who's playing poker at home. He's the evil one.
Your bet was right, man. You like fucking Nostradamus?
6-way action here, limped around.
You guys have beat me a pot in like 2 weeks, and all of a sudden you're saying I'm going to lose a pot, and I do.
Wow, set of 7s here for Chuck.
Yeah, nobody's got a king. Oh, well, Dr. Allen's got a king, but it's a weak king. I don't think he'll get involved.
Now, Chuck, he checked a set before when he flopped it on the button, and he checked it again. There's 2 hearts out there. It turns the 3rd heart. I mean, there's 6 people in there. It's amazing. I mean, now, and again, the point is, say Dr. Allen had King Jack. If Chuck bet on the button on the flop, you might get a call from King Jack. But the point is now, maybe King Jack without a heart doesn't get involved, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Now that the heart comes, he doesn't make any money off of it.
Well, Chuck has flopped 2 sets on the button. Both times he's checked it.
And bet the return and made no money. Actually, I think he actually got a guy to bet last time with a set of deuces on the turn, and he raised.
Once again, we're live at the bike. I'm David Tuckman here with Bart Hansen. And you can catch us every Monday through Friday from 7 to 10 p.m. Tonight's game is the 10-20 blind game. $1,000 minimum buy-in, unrestricted max. We've got, I think, over $35,000 or $40,000 on the table.
I'm not playing this casino anymore.
A lot of fun.
No, I think you're stuck with the stardom you get on the bike.
I'm not even cold.
I mean, just for the record, do you actually really think USA is going to get out of the group or no?
I told you, I put the chances at about 1 and 2.5.
Yes or no? Do you think they're going to get out or not?
They're probably not, if that's why I say that.
Thank you.
But, I mean, you say there's no shot.
I just want you to commit to either yes or
How
no.
about this? If they draw the Czech Republic, if they draw or win the first game, they will get out.
Okay, let's start with an easy question. Are you going to have sex in 2006? At some point this year?
Well, that's already answered.
Okay, through the rest of the year. Will you have sex again?
I think so.
Jeez, I can't even get a yes answer out of that one.
Pocket kings here for Dave. He limped in again in mid-position with them.
Well, this
Second
time he's got the king
time.
of diamonds.
Queen 3-7 did not raise, and now he's going to bet. Clint also limped in with tens, and he did not raise out of the blind, which is obviously a way you can play it. That's 300 here.
Now, Dave is making a habit of this, and that I don't like. But hey,
Of just limping
To each
in.
their own.
I mean,
Well-
he hasn't raised pre-flop.
well, you just wonder. I mean, the guy's never raising. I mean, has he raised once pre-flop? He raised once pre-flop with Jack 10 offsuit. So it's one of those things where if Dave is raising, you kind of know he doesn't have a big pocket pair.
Well, yeah, so far.
So far, exactly.
But again, none of those hands have necessarily been shown down yet, so we can pick up on the pattern.
Right, nobody else can. Nobody else has seen these hands.
Got a little over an hour, a little under an hour left in the show.
So who's going to win the World Cup?
That's tough. I don't know.
No, you have a guess?
I mean, wow, look at this. Now he's got aces. So let's see what he's going to do with aces now.
He
now,
raises.
now he makes a little min raise. 50, Dave, in a 10-20 game.
Gotta love that, man.
Yeah, oh, you love that with big pocket pairs.
And this is the
Clint's
question
gonna
really
call
is
him.
he going to go broke if the flop comes out 8-9-6? Wow,
And Kirk is going to call with 9-3 offsuit.
yeah, I don't like the call with 9-3 offsuit.
Well, I know, but and this will be interesting. This two pair here might be a hand that might come out here. Wow, it's top set here for Dave. No one else has any.
Yeah, this is
Think he's going to check it, Dave? Yeah. It seems like he's a slow player. He checks. Turns a queen.
And what if there's somebody at Jack 10? And what if there's somebody just sitting there with Jack 10 like, I hate this flop, I'm ready to throw it away, and they back into it?
All Dave's money is lost.
Right, I mean, is that what's going to happen?
I mean, is that? I assume that's a rhetorical question, right?
I mean, it's just amazing when you
Yeah.
see players like that. I mean, some guy calls you out of the small blind with Jack 10. They go, okay, I'll take one off. Flop comes out Ace King Deuce. They have no desire to be in the pot at all. They're ready to throw it away.
You check.
You check it. The queen comes off. Now they have the nuts.
Yep.
Thank you.
Now, the other thing, to play devil's advocate with you, Dave might say, well, if I check it once and someone picks up trip queens, now I can win a bigger pot because I've got aces full.
Definitely. You mean trip kings?
4 grams.
You'd have to check it twice, actually.
What was it?
Ace King Deuce.
Ace King Deuce, yeah.
Right.
No, I'm saying, like, say I check the flop now and the king comes up on the turn. Now it's
Right,
got
right.
king.
All right, Barry.
But again, against a good player, and say I was in there with king 10 and now I come out and bet, or king jack, and now the guy raises me on a later street, it almost smells like aces. doesn't it?
Exactly.
It's just so obvious.
Only got one. I only got one customer. 14
So are you going to make a pick at least for all our viewers and for me? Make a World Cup pick?
There should have been a disclaimer at the bottom that said, unless he was a big fox bear, then he's going to start.
All right, I'll pick Holland.
Holland, okay. Okay.
I mean, I don't want to be so,
Sounds good.
lame-o to pick Brazil because I think that's the easy way out. But
I'm going to go with England. I think with Wayne Rooney back, Michael Owen, Frank Lampard, and the rest of them, I really, and I love Gerrard out of Liverpool. I really think this is their year.
pocket tens here for Barry in the small blind. Mike limps.
Raise 200 more.
Barry's going to raise it up.
You got 2 jacks. Huh?
Sweden's got a good team.
Show me 1 jack.
Yeah, I like it. Sweden's good team. So does Switzerland.
Get out of here.
Yeah, and usually Switzerland, they don't have that good of a team, but this year they are pretty good.
Pretty solid team. Now, I'm not sure about the brackets. If England and the United States both advance, when would they meet?
I'm not sure, but again, the point before you rudely cut me off was that if the U.S. has any chance of going in the quarters, they're going to have to win Group E, because if they come in second, the second place team in Group E beats the first place team of the Brazil group, which will be Brazil.
Right.
So, it's real tough.
Yeah, obviously. They have to get through Italy, Czechoslovakia, and then Brazil.
If they don't win the group.
Yeah.
But like I said, if they draw or beat Czechoslovakia, they will make it out of the group. I mean, Monday's game is key.
Sick.
Can they get out of there? Can they get out of the group if they lose to Czechoslovakia?
it would be awfully tough. I mean, you'd have to actually look at the other game and see like how weak Italy actually is against Ghana. You know, limped around here 5 ways.
Ace there for Chuck, and Barry's got the same ace. Barry's actually free rolling on Chuck. Nobody has a 6.
Now Barry's going to bet here. He's going to bet 100. Now is Chuck going to play this as a check call with the ace 3 of hearts? I mean, yeah,
Nah,
he's
he's
going
gonna
to. That's a good lay now.
Nothing. Well,
That's
you're either going to bet that or you're going to just fold it.
You know, the funny thing is, if the U.S. loses to Czech Republic, the best thing that can happen in the other game is if Ghana and Italy draw. I mean, that would probably be the absolute best case scenario for the U.S. because then you think and you look that Italy's probably not that strong.
Yeah, although Ghana, they are strong. I mean, they're pretty tough. I was just reading something about them. They play a real physical brand of soccer, and they might present some problems. I wouldn't be surprised if they. I actually would not be surprised if they ended up drawing at least one game, maybe even 2. Ghana, okay.
Get back somehow.
Ace, king, and diamonds here for Dr. Allen.
I'm staying quiet. Oh, I keep embarrassing them day in and day out. Lucky most of them don't have their senses and their dementia. That includes you. Yeah.
6-way action here. Limped around.
Ooh, 2 pair, top 2 for seat 3, Dr. Allen.
He did not raise it up pre-flop, and now he's going to come up and bet.
And he's got to be a little wary of that flop. Obviously, anybody with Queen Jack has already got a straight.
I was going to bring that up to you. In a limped pot, is this the flop you actually commit all your chips when in a limped pot here with Ace King?
Against a real tight, solid player, you've got to be aware that you do not have the nuts here.
Now, Justin says that Bodog is laying the U.S. at 4-1 to win Pool E, not to advance.
I wonder what the odds are to get out of their pool, yeah.
That's a good deal.
Now, apparently, I guess Nadal was a small favorite over Federer.
Yeah, I don't even think it's a small favorite. I think it might be more than 2-1.
Oh, I thought we just got one that said 5-4.
Yeah, I'm saying.
Go back one.
I told you.
Email. There you go.
5 minutes. If you didn't do that, just let me know.
Okay, it is 5-4. And
Which I got to tell you, I mean,
this guy emailed us and he said, "Can you believe the greatest tennis player in the history of the world with a 5-4 dog versus anyone?" And that's big words, but I think Federer is the best ever. I mean, he's actually better than Sampras, especially if he wins the French Open. Sampras never made it past the quarters of the French Open.
Yeah, Federer's pretty impressive player.
Barry is going to call Mike's raise with Jack 10 of clubs. And Lee is just going to smooth call again here. I don't mind the play at all in the small blind with queens.
Nah, see the flop, see what's going on.
And he's got a set of queens. Unfortunately for him, no one has an ace.
This guy's on fire, though.
And he checked it to Mike.
And it's funny, this...
Oh, wait a minute. Mike bet out of turn. And now Lee bets right into him.
Wow.
Oh, and now Mike's going to fold. That's hilarious.
You don't have the ace anymore? I don't have an ace. I lost my ace, man. It went away.
I should have checked in there.
I mean, once Mike bets, don't you let him bet so you can check raise him? That's funny.
Yeah, it's an odd play.
I had a gut shot, man.
Wow.
And he shows the queens again.
What the hell were you thinking about? Jesus. He's a let me bet my set of queens.
I got to tell you, I love betting into the razor. I really do.
Jack 10 of clubs, man. I had a gut shot. You checked, I would have checked behind you. King would have hit the turn.
Man, interesting play.
Okay.
Live straddle here by Mike.
Officially, it's like
There's a player at
98
this
degrees.
table worse than me.
And you know what? I mean, obviously, you look at that play and you go, well, why didn't he check and go to the check raise? Well, if Mike actually had ace-king,
That's like,
he might still get the raise there, right?
I trained you well, my son. Some cultures where someone calls himself worse than Barry, you have to kill him. So.
Clint's going to raise it up here under the gun in the straddle to 140 here with ace-queen offsuit. And Mike's got deuce-8. He's probably not going to call it here. Pajedo on 2+2 says, hard court equals no wild cards. Grass court, 1 joker. Clay court, 3s and 9s are wild. It's a very good analogy. Good poker analogy.
You don't like playing with wild cards?
I don't like playing on a court that I have to sweep and clean after I'm done playing on it. I'll tell you that. I will mow
Anybody,
for it.
anybody familiar with Live at the Bike? Almost has to laugh at Bart's distaste for clay courts. I mean, this has been going on for what? Since the show started. we've
Over
been
a
talking
year.
about it. Yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah.
unbelievable.
It's not a new thing.
Unbelievable.
My distaste for clay court tennis, Thomas Muster, and Nadal.
I got to tell you, if Nadal is only a, what is he, a 4 to 5 favorite? I like the bet.
Well, he's on almost a 60 match winning streak.
56, I believe. Yeah, 57, something like that.
59, 59, something like that. Chuck's got ace king here on the button. Now Barry's going to limp in. Chuck's going to race. Barry's not going to get involved here with king 10 offsuit out of position, is he? It's a $100 race here on the button.
You're asking
Barry
me?
really played that hand well. Now Mike's in. He's going to call. How much is he going to lose, though, if a king comes? Mike's at 4-7 of spades.
Barry's like that little kid. He goes, well, Mike's doing it. I got to do it.
9, deuce, 6 here on the flop. Everybody doesn't have anything.
What the hell is that?
Everybody doesn't have anything. Chuck is going to bet here.
I don't have. I don't have. I can give you.
And he's going to get it done.
If you get 2 more.
Got about 45 minutes left in this show. God have mercy on us.
It's so too cold and they crank me up the heat.
Really looking forward to Vegas, Dave. I know you're going to be taking off in, 2 or 3 weeks. We're going to be alternating. A lot of you guys are going to get just one of us in here starting at the end of June. Or starting, June 24th. Dave's going to go, then I'm going to go, then Dave's going to go, and then the whole crew's going to be in Vegas at the Rio Lifestyles Convention, hopefully. And, come by, say hi. We're going to be sharing a booth with Adult Poker Party. It'll be a lot of fun. I'm sure you tell Melissa that.
It'll be a party. Party, party, party.
Pocket kings here for Lee in seat 1.
He has gotten he's just
He's a huge hand set.
unbelievable. Aces, kings, queens. Man. We try to really treat our new players well. Make sure they have all the good cards, win a lot of money, so they come back.
Dr. Allen here, he's looking to make this call. He's got 8-10 of diamonds. He's pretty deep, and so is Lee.
See, if you're deep enough, you can
I'm
with
going to make
this.
this call in position. Oh, he folds.
And Mike's going to call, though. And Mike is not deep enough, I don't think, at this point. What does Mike have there? Maybe 2,500? 2,400?
Here comes the flop. Well, ace 10-9. You obviously hate that flop when an ace comes out. He
Of
bets
course.
200.
And Mike just not looking to get involved with this kid. Kind of just giving him the respect. Lee has shown nothing but the nuts all night long.
Guys, if you guys talk too much, I'm gonna tell you bear on the gun again.
Email here from Chadney.
The college, he brings up the fact that the College World Series is going on. I mean, we got NBA Finals, College World Series, a great end to the French Open, along with the World Cup. Some great time in sports right now.
It really is.
I mean, I know you're not a big baseball fan. Some people are into college baseball.
No, I love college sports.
Yeah,
I love the enthusiasm behind college sports. College World Series is cool.
Got a race here by Dave.
Yeah, I'm not a huge.
This guy's talking about he's gonna
Yeah.
watch. He's gonna play some cards after he watches the Fullerton, Missouri game.
Yeah, I'm not a big NBA fan, but anytime it's a finals or something, it gets exciting. I like that as well.
Dave's brought it in for a pre-flop raise. Mike is called, and so has Kirk with 8-6. And Dave does not make the continuation bet here. Everybody's missed.
Well, now he's
gets
hitting
the
ace, yeah.
Nice, good.
He bets 100. And Mike is just not even going to get involved here.
I wonder if Dave is like Dr. Beebe. Almost has a similar style to him, doesn't he? In a weird way? Just like always trying to keep pots small. Never want to keep them big. Button moves over to seat number 5.
He loves it sometimes because of
Small blind is 10, big blind is 20. Mo is under the gun. He's first to act.
I'm telling you, Todd.
good. That's good.
Yeah, it was a bad move. You got Barry whining like a little girl, man. They shut off the AC, and now it's like a goddamn sauna.
And the action folds around to Clint on the button. He's not going to play. Are they going to chop it up? They're going to chop it up. Once again, if you want to email us, you can email us at live@thebike.com. Do appreciate it. We're also trying to do a kind of a hand dissection, hand analysis. If you want your hand dissected, send it to us with the heading and the subject of hand for blog, and send us any information about the hand you know. I mean, pot size, how many chips you had, how many chips your opponent had, was he drunk, were you drinking, were you winning that night, everything will really help us dissect the hand. And then you can look for it in the upcoming video blog. Bart and I did our latest one yesterday, and it is up. So right after the show, go check it out at liveatthebike.com. Pocket nines for Mike, and he made it 100. Barry with the jack nine of clubs out of position. Now that's a hand I might call Mike in position, but not out of position. I really don't want to play hands out of position. Not in this game.
I need this.
Mo is going to call with the Jack 10 offsuit. And we're going to see this three ways. Pot's about $300.
Final quarter. Okay, maybe I'll have to
Ace, King, 5. Bad flop for everybody. And Mike takes the card. Doesn't bet. Turn is an 8, and Mike still has the best hand here. And he said he turned the set. They both checked to him. And that's the one thing that Mike can do. You know, Mike sometimes takes those free cards and can get lucky. You never know. One of the reasons why sometimes you do want to bet into him, you don't necessarily want to give him that free card going for the check raise, because he doesn't always bet it. Queen on the river actually would have given Mo the straight. He would have had the nut straight. Button moves over to Barry in seat 7.
Got about a half an hour left here. Again, we're playing 10-20 no limit. Brown chips are $10 chips. Whites are hundreds. Unrestricted buy-in. Kind of been an interesting night so far. Barry Woods kind of getting Mike back a little bit. About time, huh? Got an ace-jack here for Kirk in the cutoff. Now Mike is going to raise with ace-8, and Kirk is not even going to get involved calling the ace-jack. Now Barry calls with pocket 3s, and I'm probably sure that Dave's going to come in here with 6s. He calls. And Dr. Allen's got a little nice 9-10 suited. He's going to make the call.
Got a pair yet, Mike?
Four-way action here, Dave.
I do. I'll let you know if I hit my set.
5, deuce, 5 here. Well, Dave's got an overpair. Do you play 6s as a bet here? And Dave just checked.
Well,
or do you just not get involved?
I mean, at this point, you really don't want to check and call with 6s.
No, you don't. I think you have to give up on the hand. I mean, I think I might use my tight image that Dave's been using and bet and see what happens.
Why not?
Because Mike's not going to call me with ace-8, but now I've put myself in a situation where I have no idea where I'm at.
Right, what am I going to check raise? I don't want to give. Obviously, if any card comes off on the turn, I have no idea where I'm at.
Now look at Barry. I mean, he's got 3s here. Mike is bet. Barry beats Mike's hand.
Yeah, he has a feeling he's good there, but... And you know what?
Wow, he's going to check raise. Boy, you know, I mean, he's going to end up, I guess, making more money on it, but how do you check raise there with 6s out of position is beyond me.
Yeah, I don't really like the play. I mean, if Mike's got 8s, or if Mike had a real hand, now he's going to win this one, obviously.
Yeah.
But if Mike's got a real hand, there's nothing to stop Mike from just calling. And you've now put more money in with a hand that's pretty vulnerable.
But again, though, I mean, Dave might say, play it like Dr. BB. If he calls the check raise, I'm just going to check fold on a later street, or just give up unless I hit a 6.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Obviously, yeah, that's definitely a way to play it. Nice email here from Michael Sullivan, talking about the Washington law on online poker. Thank you very much.
You know, Mike, that's sort of unique because I never hear anybody describe.
Good to know they've passed a very restrictive anti-smoking law for the casinos, and I like that. I don't think I could be a professional poker player if smoking was allowed in the casino. I mean, you think about it like 10 years ago, 12 years ago, where smoking was allowed. I do not understand how people could actually sit in that smoke for 8-9 hours at a time.
Oh, it must have been unbearable.
Oh, God.
I mean, then you get your whole wardrobe. I mean, everything, you come back and you just smell like smoke.
Oh, disgusting. I don't know how people do that. Mo's got ace-king here. I think he's going to re-raise.
Yeah. And this is like the second or third hand he's going to play tonight. Raised by Mike. Barry calls with 8-9, and Mo re-raises here with ace-king. Now, if Mike calls, he's dominated here. And he calls.
Once again, that's the value of raising pre-flop. Sometimes you don't really want to trap a guy like Mike because he will call you pre-flop, and there's that value in raising.
Just as with the better hand you make.
Exactly.
And Barry's going to come in here as well.
Well, it's the three amigos.
It's about a $900 pot here going three ways.
And there's the king.
There's the king, so is Mike going to get in trouble now?
And I always wonder, is Mike going to commit himself with a weak king?
Might he check raise here? Mo's going to bet 500. You know what? Mike's not deep enough. Mo's going to call here no matter what.
He is, and obviously the flop's not a great flop. You got to be wary that somebody could be in there with king queen.
But again, though, Mike might do this with a weak king. Now remember, Mike had the best of Mo.
Mo's going to move all in right here. Guaranteed. Barry folds, Mo moves all in, and Mike's going to probably call.
He's asking how much it is here. Yeah.
And Mo's going to move all in here, I'm pretty sure.
He says it's 500 more. Remember, Mike had the best of Mo on Wednesday.
Yeah, he's going to go all in.
Yeah. Well, obviously, this is much more of a no-brainer. He's short, Mike's short, and he's way ahead here. Way ahead.
And now the pot's gotten such where can Mike...
Well, Mike hasn't even called yet. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. The pot is such
can
can Mike call this? He's a huge underdog. I mean, look at it. He's 11% to 88%.
Well, Mo bet 500 on the flop. Mike check raised him
to
1,000. So the pot now at 2,900 plus the all-in by Mo. It's probably about a $4,900 pot, 2,000 for Mike to call whatever he has got in front of him.
Well, I don't think Mo's got him covered, actually. Does he?
Well, Mike's probably got 1,000. Let's call it a $3,900 pot, 1,000 to call. Tower.
And it looks like 1,400 there. Sort of get a glimpse of it over Mike's bald head.
So, $4,300, $1,300 to call.
That's a pretty good guess, yeah.
You know, 2,000 in on the turn plus the all-in 3,400 plus 900, $4,300 pot, 1,400 to call. He's getting about 3 to 1 here. Obviously, if he knew what he had, he can't call.
And this is the reason why when Mike is hitting his two pair and he's hitting his trips, he's going to make a lot of money. But when he's not catching and he starts getting in situations like this where he's dominated, he's going to lose a lot of money really quick. You know, and he's going to call, and you know, once again, Mike's obviously putting his money in with the worst of it tonight. Yeah, and
Pop's too big for me to muck it. Maybe I can hit my king.
You have king?
You got two kings?
You want to make it?
Fuck you, just turn your fucking hand over, asshole. No deal, go ahead. You got two kings? Nice king deal. I just hit my king.
You want to go 2 times?
Sure.
It's good for you just because of that. See how much I like you?
Of course, it doesn't matter. They're going to go 2 times.
Go 3 times. Oh, no. I like him. I said, let's go 2 times.
All right, go 2 times.
And they're going to run it 2 times.
Mike needs a 6 here. Turns an ace. Now Mike is drawing dead.
Oh, I wish I had a spade. Oh.
Turns a 4. Mike needs a 6. Nope.
No. And Mo's going to double through here.
And Mike, just like that, he was up, what, a quick 5,000? Now he's down a quick 5,000 for the show?
Yeah, and that's Mike in a nutshell.
Yeah.
You know, I don't like to pat myself on the back. I'm not a very confident guy. I have self-esteem problems. But Surfing Illini on 2+2 called me God yesterday. And, you know, I'm going to take it to heart. About a month ago, Mike wasn't running that well. He was whining to me, and I came over and I touched his chips. I went, and I touched them, a little power touch. And sure enough, over the last month, Mike has been running, you know, really hot. See what I work with on a daily basis? Anyway, tonight, he takes a big pot from Dr. Allen, and I go over to Mike, and I go, Mike, you really think you're that good? I go, I guarantee it. The tables are going to turn. You're going to be broke by September. And look what happened tonight, right away. Now, I don't want to say it's
Think he's going to be broke?
by September.
Oh, come on.
Well, that's just what I said to him.
That's ridiculous.
Just what I said to him. I don't necessarily think he's going to be, but that's what I said. Put a little Mike jinx on him, you know? He's been running over the table a little bit too long.
Whalecock on 2+2 said, "What? No B team for Vegas this year? Quick, someone put Terry's picture on a milk carton and check the asylums for Yana."
Free money. You know I'm going to call for 1,100 more.
And that's where Yana might be, in one of those asylums. You never know.
That's a sexy, sexy girl.
7-way action here. Oh my goodness. Ace 4 here. Well, Dave's got trip 4s in seat 9. He's in the hand on the button.
Clint hasn't played much, has he? He's been real tight all night. Won a couple of pots early on in the night, and he's really laid
now,
low.
is Kirk going to get involved with ace 10 here when Clint bets?
That's a case ace, by the way. Chuck's got an
It's
ace
such
also.
an easy laydown for Kirk when Clint bets into you. Would you call with ace 10 there?
No, I would not.
Are you kidding me? I'm really surprised. I mean, what is Clint betting? There's no draw. Ace 9?
And what's Dave going to do?
I am shocked that Kirk called there.
Dave just call?
Yep. Seems like a slow player.
Well, Chuck threw away ace 3.
Yeah.
Obviously, you got a bet.
I'm just
a
really
bet, a call, and a call.
Really shocked. Kirk.
2 players.
Actually, Kirk raised.
Oh, Kirk raised. Kirk
Kirk
raised
raised.
and the button called. That makes more sense.
Much different.
Makes way more sense. Turns a deuce.
And actually, I don't mind the raise by Kirk. Actually, I would hate the call.
Oh, call.
Don't mind the raise.
Yeah, the raise is much different.
But once you raise, you know you're behind.
Look at this, a $200 bet by the button, and Kirk is check raised. And now Dave lays down the 4. Dr. BB-esque like it was nothing. Dr. BB Dave in seat 9. Wow.
What am I watching? This is insane. Well, I mean, I will say, you know what? You get a bet, a raise, a call,
Yeah.
and then the guy check raises you on the turn. I don't really like trip 4s either. Then do you?
Yeah.
I mean, Kirk was representing like ace 4.
Yeah, and we get an email here from Flip Gallagher saying Nadal is minus 145. Federer is plus 125.
Oh, okay.
So
there you go. So you have to bet 3 to win 2 for Nadal.
Yeah.
Okay, not that great a bet.
40.
$40 raise here by
120.
and look at this. $40 raise here by Barry. And a little mini raise here by Dave with pocket 6s for 120. And Mike is going to come in with 8-3 of diamonds. He bought in for 5,000.
I can tell you, if Mike is steaming tonight, I'm definitely playing.
3-way action here. Barry's in there with king 5, and he hits top 2, and Dave's got a set. Now, there's a 3 flush out there. Now, Dave can't slow play this set, can he? Well, Barry's going to bet right in before him.
The funny thing is, Barry might over-represent this hand because he thinks he has the nuts,
Yeah.
and Dave might throw it away. He might, right?
$500 bet here by Barry.
What can a set of 6s beat?
If Dave moves in, Barry's going to call. I think Barry
Really,
thinks,
Dave?
I think Barry thinks this hand is the nuts, like you said.
Not against Dave, though. Come on.
All right, Dave,
He's
I've been
gonna play
right
the
all
player.
night. I've been right all night. Are you kidding me? Are we talking about the same person?
Okay. Well, he raises. No, he calls. Sorry.
Well,
He called.
just a call.
Just a call. The pot is now about $1,000. And there's the club, and who's going to bet it? Whoever bets it takes it down.
Barry's going to come out and bet again.
And he's betting, wow, I bet $1,000.
But
right?
again, though,
100.
Dave might call thinking he still has odds to fill up, though.
Dave just threw away trip 4s. I don't see him calling this. I really don't. He doesn't have enough money either.
$1,000 bet. The pot is about 1,000. I mean, Barry put a nice pot-sized bet out here.
Now, Barry would bet the ace of clubs on the flop, like ace whatever,
Yeah.
ace jack, ace of clubs on the flop, and he would bet here if he made it.
And Dave looks like he's going to lay it down. You know, I want to ask you a question because I was thinking about this a
And
little
the
bit.
river is...
Wow, if a king came on the
A
river.
king!
Oh, it was a king on the river. Oh, wow.
Oh,
How about a
my.
king on the river?
Oh, God, that would have been crazy.
What I was going to say was,
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
would you ever, if you were deep stacked, and say you were specifically maybe even out of position, would you ever check call a 3 flush board with a set in almost like limit-esque, wait for a safe card on the turn before you commit a whole bunch of chips.
Definitely. People
Yeah.
always talk about, hey, once again, I'm going to quote Jonas, okay,
Right,
because
right.
it's a great quote. You are not in there to protect your hand, protect
Right.
your stack,
Right.
okay? A set is just a set. Who cares? It's garbage.
90.
You can get another one 2 hours later. Okay, don't lose your whole stack on a 3-flush board, okay?
Mo is raised here to 90, and Mike's in there with pocket threes. Mo's got a gut shot here to the jack.
Now, I'm not saying you might want to raise, then obviously if Dave raises that flop, when the turn comes out of club, he might be able to represent and take it away. Who knows? Nice bet by Barry, though, and he takes it down.
Bet here by Mo, he takes it down. Boy, Mike's head is very shiny, isn't it?
Yeah, he's good.
Pot moves here to C3.
Apparently, we have some air conditioning problems tonight.
Yeah, what else is new? I'm going to tell you, the climate control in this casino is amazing. Another jackpot was hit today, Dave. This time 30 limit hold'em. Again, a game that we were not sitting in. I mean, it's almost comical.
Yeah.
Beyond comical.
Yeah, apparently I found that actually one of the owners of the casino was involved in the jackpot last week. And then tonight, I think the CEO of the casino, the operations manager, I believe he is, he actually was part of the jackpot as well. So now it's pretty much everybody involved in this casino has won a jackpot except for me and you.
Right. And of course, that was a 30 limit game, so it was pretty propped up as well. So you get several other props that are a part of that as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know how many props are still here in that game.
No, they hired a bunch of new people.
Pocket 10s here for Kirk.
In the big blind.
I gotta tell you, that was a play, that ace-10 play by Kirk, where he got Dave off trips. I gotta tell you, that's a play that you rarely see out of Kirk, but I gotta tell you, if Kirk makes that move on me and I have 7-4,
Yeah.
I'd probably lay it
Well,
down too.
I mean, we got the action wrong. We went from absolutely degrading Kirk to praising him because Kirk raised.
Yeah.
Huge difference than just calling with ace-10.
Yeah, and obviously we don't always get the action right.
Yeah.
You know, we don't always see it or we don't always hear it.
Now, Mike is now seat 1 raised. Mike called, and now Kirk, it looks like he's going to smooth call as well. You wonder if Kirk would have re-raised Mike as a button raise with 10s, but it's Lee who's raising.
Yeah, and Lee has definitely got the respect of the table.
It's about a $400 pot going 3 ways. 8-5-4. Kirk's got the overpair. Is he going to lead and see where he's at?
I think you got to lead here
Wow,
and see
he
where you're
checks.
at. Well,
And now Lee checks, and now Mike is going to bet, and now does Kirk check raise Mike
I think you can actually call this.
and see what Lee does?
Exactly.
Well, he's going to check raise, it looks like.
See, I'd probably call with the 10s here. See what...
He min check raised it, David, got Lee out of the hand, and Mike looks like he might call here. He's got a pair and an... I mean, Mike is going to be getting like 5, 6, 7 to 1 here.
We raised 1,000.
And he's going to re-raise 1,000. Wow. Kirk mini check raises the flop, and Mike comes back over the top for 1,000. And now Kirk moves in with 10s.
Right, he says that. Yeah, stick that in your ass, Mike. I think that horseshoe was cursed.
Well, I mean, again, it is the right play here, and it is against Mike. But Mike still might make 2 pairs sometimes.
Yeah.
Some of the,
No, definitely. Well, what happens is too often, first of all, somebody either checks it and plays it really passively against Mike, right?
Yeah.
And then Mike ends up getting a king or a 5 on the river and puts in the nice value bet and you pay him off. Well, in this case, Kirk actually playing it really aggressive tonight. I like his game. A couple of plays that you and I probably would not have made. And he's played it real strong. I mean, I'd probably check call with the 10s or bet the 10s and lead out on the turn.
Next time I'll put you on him. No, you won't. Next time you'll play the exact same way.
And Mike might be tilting some of that steam coming out of that head. Got about 15 minutes left in the show.
Get our final chip count pretty soon.
5 players.
Lived around here 5 ways, Dave. Ace 6-3 rainbow.
Ooh, 2 pair for Kirk.
Bottom 2.
Nobody's got an ace, though. Nobody's got a draw.
And he's going to come out and bet.
And I imagine that'll probably get it done. Kirk has really opened up his game
What is
tonight.
Barry doing? Calling with deuce 3 next to act against Kirk?
It's a good idea. Turn it off the air, man. That's only like 90 here.
Barry calls.
and he's in terrible shape.
Oh,
I mean,
man, if Barry hits
if a
eight,
deuce or a three come off,
he's going to be screwed.
yeah, it really is.
Turns a 9.
Well, now Kirk's got a flush draw, and Barry's officially drawing dead.
Kirk bets again.
200.
Oftentimes, if the pot is not raised pre-flop, I don't really like to call for that, 2-pair or something like that, because you never know what your opponent has, and you might be dominated, like in Barry's case he is here. And you catch your 2-pair, and you get those huge reverse implied odds. Once in a while, if the pot is raised, and I can put my opponent on a hand, and I can put him on ace-king there.
Yeah.
Well, in that case, okay, maybe I might take one off if there's huge implied odds.
Putt moves over here to Kirk.
Once again, if you've missed any part of this show,
That's it? Set up, please.
you can actually watch it tonight at 11 p.m. Pacific time, and it runs all the way through until every 3 hours until 5 p.m. tomorrow. You can also catch the entire week on Sunday starting at noon. Just go to liveatthebike.com and check it out. You can also check out Bart and I, our new video blog. Put it up there yesterday.
Checked
And,
around here, limped around. Chuck did not raise with ace-queen. 6-way action.
Contrary to popular belief, Bart and I are not drunk or on drugs tonight.
Well, here's the ace. Now, Mike's got a weak ace at c4. Is he going to get involved? That's a hand he might normally raise in that spot with. Chuck is going to lead out with ace-queen. Let's see what Mike's going to do here with ace-3. He's going to call.
Well, Mike plays so many hands, it's bound to happen where he starts getting some kicker problems.
Turns a 4. See what Chuck is going to do. Remember, this pot was limped around. He's going to bet 300.
You know what? And he's kind of building himself a little bit of a pot here.
Problem is, though, if Mike ever raises here, it's so easily that he might have aces up. I mean, what if that 4 was a 3 on the turn?
Yeah, but you know what, though? Mike's image is pretty bad right now.
And he's going to raise.
He's got to pay attention to his image. I don't think Chuck's going anywhere.
Now, look at this. He min raises here. Would he ever do this? And if Chuck calls, might you take a free showdown with ace-3? Or do you just know that you're beat and you have to bet him off of it on the river?
Well, if he calls you, you got to know you're beat here, don't you?
A min raise here.
I mean, I guess Chuck could have hearts, but Chuck's played it so conservatively all night. Now, I got to say, if Chuck is paying attention to the table and seeing the way that Mike's image has fallen over the last hour or so, I think you've got to pay him off here. I really do.
Again, it's kind of a catch-22. Okay, Chuck does not re-raise.
And he calls.
Yeah, because remember, this is pot just linked around, and the
wow.
river is the case ace. Does that change anything, though?
I think it does a lot.
And Chuck checked, and Mike checked behind him.
Oh.
Chuck did not bet the river, and Mike checked right behind him.
I think it changes a lot because Mike could have had 7-4.
Right.
He could have had 9-7.
So you bet that ace-queen there.
There's no straight out there. There's no flush out there.
Yeah.
There's absolutely the only thing I'm scared of is what? Ace-7, Ace-9, Ace-4, or pocket 9s, pocket 7s, or pocket 4s.
Well, the other thing, though, too, is if you bet and Mike moves all in, are you going to call?
Yes.
Really? Oh.
Mike? Yes.
I mean, you might check call there if you think he already had aces up, though, on the turn. I mean, that's kind of... Got a final chip count coming up here, Dave.
Almost 40,000 on the table. Lee has got the table covered now. He's got 8,000. Barry with 6,600.
Yeah.
Kirk with 5,500. And look at Mike. Very unfamiliar place for Mike. He's actually down at the bottom with 3,000 chips.
Let's take a look at the differences.
I wanted to see if my aces were. Can you call this all right?
Poof. Wow, and this might be one of the first times in quite a while that Mike is not at the top of the leaderboard
I
here.
mean, Mike is down like almost 11, 12,000 in the last 2 hours.
Yeah, down 6,000 after being up 6,000. Really.
And Lee is the big winner here, up 5,000.
He's played it real solid.
Look at
Mo,
Mo.
hey, he's only played 5 hands, and we always say at No Limit Hold'em, we don't have to play a lot of hands to win.
And it's a fine line, of course. We always talk about looking like a genius and looking like a donk. And Mike was always hitting those 2 pairs when he was dominated. Tonight, he's putting all his chips in when he's dominated. He's not hitting.
Well, let's look at the hand on Wednesday. There was a hand where Mo raised big pre-flop with pocket kings. Mike called a big pre-flop raise with 5-4.
Right.
And the flop comes out 4-4.
Right.
Little things like that, or actually 5-5, I think it came out. But either way, it doesn't make a difference. When Mike is hitting his hands, he is going to win a lot of money, but obviously the swings that Mike will take are really, really extreme.
Barry's going to raise it up here with ace-8 of hearts. Although I don't necessarily know if I would use that specific hand for the analogy that we're trying to get. I mean, obviously 4-5 he gets lucky that he hits trick fours, but it's a lot different than calling with king 6 and say getting your money in on a king 6 deuce flop when Mo has ace king or aces. Because that hand is dominated. 4-5, I don't mind them call pre-flop.
I mean, you look at the two hands that he lost all his money on. One of them was king 9. The board was 7-8-9 with 2 clubs.
Yeah.
He has king 9 with no
the river's
clubs.
a jack.
And he ended up doubling up Barry.
Yeah.
And in the other hand was a king high board where Mo had raised pre-flop. You know, and he doubles up Mo with king 6. I mean, not great poker here from Mike.
Chuck is once again limped in with ace-queen from early position. And Clint, we haven't heard from him in a while. He's going to pop it up here with a little pocket pair, pocket 3s from seat 5. Barry's going to make a quick call here with jack 9 of clubs. Excuse me, in position. And Chuck just gets away from it. You know, Chuck limped in with ace-queen offsuit from up front. Clint raised, Barry called, and he's out of there with ace-queen.
Obviously, Chuck paying attention to the player who's raising.
Yeah. King, king, queen here on the flop. And it goes check, check. Turns a 6. And you wonder if Clint checks again, will Barry take a shot at it? Clint's going to bet 2. 200 here. Barry is very good at sometimes snuffing out weakness. The guy did not bet the flop. Barry's going to get rid of it. Who is this like rock star type here that's walked into the booth?
This is my my wife's cousin, actually.
Ah.
Here, step in here. This is Crispian Mills. Is your band still Cola Shaker? Yeah. It is. Okay. Okay. Lead singer of a band called Kula Shaker. Actually,
Kula Shaker.
Yes, in England.
Ah.
Great band, great music.
Are you English? Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Last time I checked.
What do you think about the World Cup, man? Rooney.
Well, we'll have to see. He's, you know, those Irish bones, they heal pretty quick.
Well, one other question. Do you eat blood sausage, English breakfast?
No, I'm vegetarian.
Black.
Once again, Bart putting his foot in his mouth, correctly on.
Limped around here. 10-10-7 on the flop. And Clint's going to fire here. He's going to fire with the kind of a bluff here with queen 9. He bet 60. And he's going to take it down. Looks like.
Once again, we're live at the bike here. I'm David Tuckman here with Bart Hanson and Crispian Mills. Bart moves over to seat number 1.
Did you ever think when you were like, you know, growing up in upstate New York and then in Long Island, you're going to marry, you know, kind of a girl from an English family and have, you know,
British
all these,
actress?
Yeah, these strong English ties.
No,
Good Brit.
I gotta tell you, it's probably not where I thought I was going. But hey, you know, you just
bubble and squeak and bangers and mash in the morning.
Hey, you take life where it leads you. You never know.
Oh man, Mike's got a straddle here in seat 4. Ace queen here for Kirk. Up front, is he going to pop it up here in a straddled pot? Just going to call. And now Lee is going to raise. A couple of limpers. He's going to raise it up here with king, queen suited. He's going to make it 160. Now, Dr. Allen is easily going to get out of there with a weak suited ace. Now, Mike is in there with 8-5 of spades. Now, look at Dave. He limped in with queen 7 of diamonds. Oh, he's not going to play. We're heads up. Kirk does not call Lee's raise with ace queen. Jack 9-5 here. Over cards. Got shot to the 10 backdoor clubs here for Lee. Not a bad flop, Jack 9-5.
Yeah,
heads up.
Mike's ahead right now, but he's not a big favorite. You can see he's about a 3-2 favorite over Lee.
And Mike has not gotten mixed up with Lee. Lee bets 300.
Yeah, I mean, that's not really the flop you're looking for with 5-8 of spades, is it? But, you know, like most players, Mike plays better when he's winning. Like most of us.
And is he going to throw a little check raise in here? He does.
Yeah, he's going to get involved with him here.
400. And can you call here with if you're Lee in position? The problem is that Mike now doesn't really have that many chips, I don't think, left.
Yeah.
He just keeps burning through chips.
You probably want to pick a better spot if you're Lee, don't you? I mean, you've got overcards, you got the gut shot.
Look at this. Kirk and Barry are talking about.
He's going to call. Wow, he's
Wow.
going to call. And this pot is quickly $1,600.
And the turn's a queen, and Lee's got the best hand, and this might really put Mike on tilt. And I think Mike is checked. And Lee checks right behind him. And the river is a 4 here. Lee's good.
And is Mike going to fire it? Mike must think he can't think he's good here.
Kind of a half pot control size check, and I think Lee is going to call a river bet here.
I think without a doubt it was a just in case your opponent had something like 10-8. He was check raising with a straight draw and he got there. He keeps the pot small, and now if Mike puts in a $600 or $700 bet in there, he can do it. And I think this is going to go check.
Well,
and
now
pass.
Mike checks, and I actually do not mind the check behind there in that case. I think the pot is big enough. I might necessarily not want to wake a sleeping giant bet there on a queen and get, say, check raised all in and force the call with pot. I mean, do you make a value bet there with king queen at the end? I know you're a big proponent of value bets.
Yeah, you know,
sometimes.
depending on
Kind of
how
a monster hand.
yeah, depending on how deep Mike is, I figure, can I get called by a jack? Is there a way I can get called by a jack? Now you've got to realize I've got to figure that Mike's got some sort of a pair because
Yeah.
he's checking. He's not bluffing at me, so I'm going, okay, he's got something, but not something strong enough to bet. So
Got about 5 minutes left in the show here. Ace Jack suited here for Dr. Allen. Ace King for Mike in the blind. And Clint is straddled from up front here at C5. So this one might be a little bit interesting here. And pocket kings for Chuck on the button. And Mike might go broke because Chuck might raise on the button and Mike just might push it here with Ace King. We've seen it before, Dave.
I wouldn't be surprised.
That might be how this hand is going to go down.
Well, like you said before, I mean, you're always right. So
Well, how about look at this? Dave is going to come in and raise to 100, and Chuck re-raises. And that might save Mike. I thought if it was going to be an open raise with kings, Mike might just push. He might push anyway.
look at Dr. Allen. Dr. Allen's going to get rid of Ace Jack, I bet.
Yeah.
And he does. Easily throws away Ace Jack. I think Mike might move in.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yep.
And he does. Look at him. He's moving in.
How do we know that, Dave, huh? We
Unbelievable.
just know these players.
You're a genius.
Yep, I know.
Really are.
Obviously, 6-7 insta-fold there by the open raise by Dave.
And Chuck is going to easily call
Chuck,
us.
you got a call against Mike. It's 13-10 more.
Yeah.
And Mike is really screwed because one of the aces is already dead.
And remember, Mike rebought for $5,000. If he loses this, he's down like $8,000 or $9,000 for the night after being up $6,000. Talk about a big swing.
2 aces left here. Here we go to the flop. But a $7,000 board run, 9-6-5, no help here.
You know, we talk about it. Nobody runs good forever.
Turns 5. Mike's got 2 outs here on the river. 2 outs and 2 outs only.
Fuck them, man. Steal.
The river's a 4.
Yeah, and Chuck's going to take this down with kings. And Mike obviously didn't pay attention to the fact that Chuck was re-raising.
Yeah.
You know, you got to put Chuck on a pretty big hand if he's re-raising. And that's pretty much, you know, that $1,500 gift that Mike gave Chuck.
This one's going to be the last hand of the night, so Mike, hey, tale of a little bit of a dark side here tonight. Haven't seen it in a while. Really, really run bad.
You know what? I mean, Mike's been on the show for quite a while. You know, and the way he plays, his swings are going to be huge. We're going to see it. I'm just wondering what's in that that horseshoe there. It's like the Brady Bunch, you know, the curse thing.
You know, Barry might have brought that horseshoe to the same witchcraft doctor that Greek George went to
Yeah.
to get the curse off of him. He might have cursed the horseshoe.
Now, Mike's got pocket queens.
Wow. In the small
How big
blinds.
is he? How much is behind is he?
He's
2,000.
Picked up queens. He's going to raise to 500.
Yeah, Mike loves
Well,
to do
Barry raised it with King 5 of diamonds to 170. And Barry's just going to fold, and we're going to see one more hand here.
Mike loves to do that. Makes it look like a steal. And if Barry had a hand like Ace Queen,
How about
Barry
nines?
might call.
How about nines?
Barry
Barry
might-
might push.
Oh yeah, definitely.
9s or 10s.
Mike loves to make it look like a steam bet. Oh, look, you get rid of Classic, I tell you. He's so much more entertaining when he's losing.
Oh, man. Fold it around. There it is.
Now Mike's going to raise it. He makes it
70.
$70 to go.
Now, Kirk's got ace-10 offsuit. Is he going to play here? Again, even though it's against Mike, you wonder how much you could win here, and does he even want to get involved?
Well, that's the thing.
He makes the call.
Can you win a big pot with this?
So here we go. Last
Although
hand of the
Mike
night.
showed he could be raising with Ace 5 and can pay him off.
140 to go here, heads up. King, queen, deuce. Kirk's got a Broadway gut shot here to the jack. Is Mike going to make a continuation bet here?
He did. He bet $100.
Nope, Kirk's not going to give all. That's going to do it for us tonight. Another week down in the annals of Live at the Bike, as you say. Hey, go Paraguay. That's what I can say.
That's right. That's right.
I mean, you're gonna root for the Czech Republic on Monday.
Just end the show already. Go home. Have a good weekend, okay?
Have a good weekend, everybody. Check out the video blog. It's up right now. We'll see you on Monday. For Dave Tuckman, I'm Bart Hanson. Good night, everybody, from Live at the Bike.
It's here. It's big. And it's closer than you think. It's not a tournament. It's what you don't see on TV. The cash is real. The stakes are high. They bet big. They win big. They lose big. High stakes live action poker. Live at the Bike. Watch it live on the web or play it if you dare at the Bicycle Casino right here in Los Angeles.